Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Star Trek Club. We're live. I'm Captain Logan. There's Brandon Grimm.
Hello, everybody.
There's Adam Meredith.
Hello.
And as we always do, we're going to watch some Star Trek with you. We're going to do a little bit of trivia. We're going to have a really fun, wholesome time.
Watching Star Trek in Star Trek Club.
It always surprises you?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
I'm good.
Well, are you making fun of me for feeling the need to explaining to people that we're going to watch Star Trek in Star Trek Club? Because you can have a Star Trek Club where you don't watch Star Trek.
That's true.
You know, there's a lot of local clubs where you actually have to. I mean, maybe not right now with COVID, but where you actually have to like go somewhere to a club where all they do is sit around and have like boring like
and pretend like they're like on a ship or whatever. Yeah.
That sort of thing.
So that's actually kind of amusing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who do that. Because I used to hear from people at the old club that would go try out other clubs, and they'd be like, and I'm not tooting my own horn when I say this, like, this is what people would say, like, and you might remember this, where, I'm not going to name any names, but a couple folks that went to club went and tried out other clubs, especially when we were on hiatus, or when we dropped back to only a couple times a month. You're like, oh, well, on the off weeks, I'll go to this other club. And they'd be like, Cap, your club is so much better because you, like, do things, and you're laid back, and you have fun, and you don't take yourself too seriously. And I'm like, it's Star Trek. How do you take it too seriously?
They were more about pretending to be in Star Trek than talking about Star Trek.
And we always had like a tongue-in-cheek version of that, where we said like, okay, we have a ship. We were Trek Forever. We were the USS Eternal. We were like, we have a ship, and we have ranks, and you can watch episodes and things.
Our
for
ship was
points.
In class too.
I don't know if anybody can actually hear Adam right now. Adam, talk for a minute.
Here we
Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, there we go. Okay, sweet. I'm just making sure. All right, well, let's go ahead and do a little bit of Standard Replicator, folks. Oh, before we do that, let's spin the wheel and find out what the first thing is that we're going to watch.
Do it.
Yeah.
Brandon doesn't want to do the wheel spin. All he wants to do
I hope it didn't revert.
is Standard Replicator. Well, I know, but before that happened. I'm sorry, what? What'd you say?
I said I hope it didn't revert like it has a tendency to do sometimes, the wheel.
Yeah.
Where it randomly throws up old stuff back up on there.
Well, I went back through it, and I think I took out everything. Oh, wait, no, I actually see a couple things that shouldn't be on there. Okay, well, hopefully they don't come up. Sorry about that.
We bring it up one day, and all it is just Carpenter Street, Carpenter Street, Carpenter Street, Carpenter Street.
Well, that would be unfortunate. Everybody give me just a second. I moved some things around in OBS, and, okay, now nobody can see anything. Hold on.
Fade to black.
Hold on. I've just got to put the first window, the first portal to a new dimension.
Don't we have backup power?
One greater, one more wondrous than our own.
They said in Spinal Tap, it's like spice without the star.
We are totally still here. I promise you guys. But I got to put up the first display that is only letting me do the second capture for some reason. Okay, I don't really understand that. I'll figure this out later. Let me just throw this over you for a minute so nobody can see your head for right now. Let's spin the wheel first. And we got for the uniform.
What?
For the uniform.
So for the uniform is going to be a Michael Eddington episode from DS9.
Eddington.
I do believe. Is that going to be the one where he does the biological weapon on the planet?
Yes.
Yes, finally.
This was so crazy.
I've been excited about this one.
Oh my god, this is the one where he kills Eddington. Like the whole episode, he says it like that.
You know what's great about DS9 for me, though, right now, like where I am at this point, is I have so much DS9
I was going to say, you don't know enough about it to say this is what's great about DS9.
No, this is what's great about my interaction with DS9, is that I have so much, like, such a great series and so much left to see for the first time.
This is also weirdly connected to the episode we watched last week where...
is that going to be your excuse for not watching it, or are you just going to keep going, well, you see, if I watch it, then I won't have all this Star Trek I haven't seen. I'm sorry, what, Adam?
Was that last week when we watched Dr. Bashir, I presume?
No, that was the week before. Last week we had two TNGs. We did Fistful of Datas last week, and we did The Game.
That's right. That's right. This is connected to that episode a little bit, in that this is the only other episode where they use the holographic
That's true.
communicator
The
thing, and they take out the
communication
table
thing.
behind in the Defiant for some reason and put it back
So
there.
am I right that both of the big confrontations with Eddington from Cisco are for the titles, right? It's for the cause and for the uniform.
I think so.
And
yeah.
it isn't for the uniform the second one, so you get for the cause. Is that where we find out that he is that he's a traitor, and then for the uniform is where we finally take him in, or am I backwards?
I think you're right. Let me see.
I don't remember. Tom just put in a $5 super chat. Thanks, Tom, and asked for Survival Instinct, another Voyager episode from Tom. That's a pretty cool one, actually. I like that one quite a bit, so that'll be cool to put on the wheel. Let me go ahead and get it in there real quick.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is definitely the one where he poisons the planet.
So, Brandon, you know how it works, man. You've
forgotten.
Well, you can ask a question, and Tom usually does, and he has, and we're going to answer it right now. Who is your favorite Borg and or Borg episode you rock and have to stream scheduled? Yeah, so I just fixed that. I just got rid of the other stream. Here's the thing. This new setup, I'll set up a stream, and this is inside baseball stuff, but I'll set up a stream, and it won't show that it's come up. And for like 5 minutes, it won't show that it's come up. And the only way that I can broadcast is to set up another one. And then that one will immediately come up. But the first one doesn't actually show up in my feed until well later, before I have a chance to not have two streams up simultaneously.
What is the problem with technology?
Well, what is the problem with YouTube, I think, is the real question. But yeah, Tom, the episode is for the uniform. That's going to be DS9, I want to say season 4 or 5.
4, I think. 4 or 5, you're right.
So we will do that after a bit, of course. We're going to do some Santa Replicator here in a minute, and then we'll do a quick game. But before that happens, let's go ahead and answer this question. So once again, favorite Borg and or Borg episode. Favorite Borg is weird because there's just not that many to choose from. I think I'm gonna, if I had gun to my head, if I have to do that, because everybody's gonna say Hugh. Hugh's the obvious answer. I'm gonna go with 1. I like 1 a lot from Drone, and I feel like he could have stuck around and stayed on the ship, and he would have been a really cool addition to that crew, regardless of having 2 Borgs. I don't care. But
we
if
did
you
multiple Borgs later,
that's true. We put the kids on there, and I hate that.
Oh yeah.
What you'd have to do though
Borgs are
is
multiple Borg.
You'd have to find a way to get the Doctor another mobile emitter, because I wouldn't want his whole I wouldn't want everything we do with him after that to just be the Doctor sitting around complaining that he can't leave the sick bay. Like, no, that would be the worst.
Right.
Do you have a favorite Borg?
I was actually
my favorite Borg is the fetus that was in the maturation chamber and Collective that we never see again.
That's the best. Remember that baby Borg?
Baby Borg.
Right next to the drawer with Picard's uniform in it?
Yes.
There was a meme that went around on the internet where there was a picture of that baby Borg, and then there was a picture of the baby Naomi Wildman, and it said proving that Star Trek likes to glue shit to babies.
You can't say that word on this program.
I'm sorry.
I love how this was the show where I used the word wholesome.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you sent me that meme. That wasn't funny.
You didn't
Sorry.
like it?
No, I didn't think that was funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
Like, I get it, but yeah. I don't know, it's just a lot of the Star Trek memes, like I don't know what it is with me and memes. I've never been a meme person, and I'm, like, really picky with them. Like, 95% of memes I don't find funny at all. I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's just, some jokes are in the delivery. Whereas, like, if somebody was saying this, maybe it would be funny, but, like, just looking at it in a picture with the text, it's not. And, like, with Star Trek, very often it's, yeah, I ran a Star Trek club for 15 years. I've had that thought. You know what I mean? Like, so many of those just aren't funny to me because, like, I get real prudish about it. I'm like, yeah, I know that. Like, hilarious. Like, good job.
I guess I can
You
see
finally
that
caught up to
if
me.
you've
Well
been
done.
Thinking about it for years, I can understand that, but I had never considered that.
Anyway, so let's. Sorry.
So 1 was my favorite Borg too.
Yeah. Do you have a serious answer? Do you have a favorite Borg episode?
Oh, I mean, I guess aside from 7, I guess maybe like 1. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, 7's the other obvious answer.
It's hard to pick, you know.
And I mean,
it's not very.
The thing is, like, I'm not in love with her until after she's a Borg, so I don't even think. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
I guess she is a Borg, but yeah.
Right.
Episode wise, I'm gonna go with Iborg.
Yeah.
I think that remains my favorite.
I don't know. I Best of Both Worlds is still really good, but that's kind of the obvious answer too. But I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
Well, there's not a lot of competition if you, and I know this isn't true for you, but for a lot of people, Best of Both Worlds would be the only thing they could go to because there's not a lot of competition if you don't like Voyager, unless you think Iborg is as good of a character study episode as I do, and a lot of people do really like that episode, but I get why people would pick that over it. In Voyager, I'd go with Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Because I love Scorpion.
Scorpion's definitely amazing. And least on the list would be Endgame.
Or Descent.
Unimatrix Zero.
Or
Unimatrix
actually, no.
Zero.
I can't put, Unimatrix Zero is really bad, and then Dark Frontier is also really bad.
It's just weird, yeah.
There's a bunch of bad Borg episodes, like really
Well,
bad Borg
Voyager
episodes.
was really, really sloppy. Especially at that point with I don't know with this, like the science fiction concepts and stuff. Survival Instinct, which he put on the Borg, is also a really good Voyager Borg episode though. And I like the one with the Vinculum where 709 has multiple personalities. What is that?
Yeah.
Infinite Regress? Yeah, that's a really good one. I don't know if we can actually call that if we could really call that a Borg episode though, because it's really just there's this artifact in space that's a device to give her multiple
That one's got some
personality
weird
disorder.
dream imagery. Remember, like the crow, the raven. Is that the one with the raven, where she goes and finds the raven?
Yeah.
That's the one where the Borg cause like a raven in her dream sequence.
No, I thought she found the Raven in Dark Frontier. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It was before that.
It was
Maybe
before
that
that?
was the one called The Raven. Was there an episode called Raven? I don't know.
Wait,
I haven't watched
didn't she
one
just
in a
have a
while.
dream and she wanted to learn more about her family?
Yeah, the thing is, there's 2 episodes that deal with that, and one is the Raven, and the other one is not the Raven. I don't remember whether she actually discovers the ship. I just don't remember. But I know that her parents are, her past and her parents are involved in Dark Frontier, and then at the end she's gonna find them as drones again. But anyway, Busted Sim says Regeneration is okay. I wouldn't put it at the top or nothing, but I would have thought putting the Borg anywhere in Enterprise would have been the worst idea ever, and it was in my top 10.
Mad as a premise when the episode preview aired, when that was on, I was like, "What?"
But it works okay. As a sequel set in the past, it works okay. I just wish that we had really delivered on that premise. On the other hand, when Manicoto decided to get away from that, that's when the show got really good. So, or at least the best it ever was. So what are you gonna do? The best it ever was. Anyway, let's go ahead and do some standard replicator. I have something in my Captain a Little Brain, and believe it or not, it is about Star Trek. And we are going to begin with Brandon this time. If you want to play along with us, folks, just ask a question, yes or no question, about whatever I am thinking about, based on the answers to the yes or no questions that you have heard before. I'm going to give you guys collectively a turn, and we'll hear from these guys a couple times before I get to you. So let's start with Brandon, and yeah, it's in my head. Go ahead.
Is it bigger than a pad?
It is bigger than a pad. We have those now. We didn't have to wait until the 23rd century for pads. We've got those now.
And they rock.
And they do more than they did in Star Trek. And you don't need a stack of 50
a whole
of
stack
them.
of them. Yeah. Right. Let me think here. Is it alive?
It is alive, yeah.
Okay.
Is it an animal?
No, it's not an animal. The only question I see from the audience so far is from Cinematographic. Is it a starship? Nope. It is not a starship. It's not a living starship. Go ahead.
Certainly
Adam.
there was one of those.
Oh, Tom, is it organic? Yes, it is organic. So that's helpful. Go ahead.
I think her. Does this appear in more than one series?
No.
Is it in TNG?
It is not in TNG. Let's see here. We have quite a few questions now. Jason, is it bigger than Worf? No. I'll actually answer a couple of these. Cinematographic, does it violate or circumvent the Prime Directive? No, not that I know of. And is it larger than an average human? No. Adam.
And let me think here. Is it in Deep Space Nine?
It is not in DS9.
It's in Voyager.
No. Let's see. Jason, is it in TOS? Yes. Tom, is it a race? No.
Oh.
I usually just give you guys one turn, but your questions are helpful, so we'll just try to move it along here.
Does this creature, does it have sentience to the level of like a human?
Yep.
Okay.
Does Kirk fight it?
Nope.
No.
Okay, not seeing anything else yet, so we'll go back over to Adam.
Let me think here. Kirk doesn't fight it. That's
Jason,
rare.
is it in the movies? No, it's not in the movies.
Well, I'll wait
Because
for my
usually,
next question.
he usually fights everything, so let me think here.
All we know right now is that it's in TOS and it's alive and it's not bigger than an average person. That's really all we've got right now, right?
Is it a woman?
Yes.
So my question was...
That's why he doesn't fight it.
It seemed like you guys had it in your head that it was like a creature of some kind, and I wasn't sure how we got. I wasn't sure how we got there. Especially since Brandon's one of Brandon's first question was, "Is it an animal?" And I said no. And then it seemed like for some reason we went in this direction of, well, it can't be a person, and I wasn't really sure why that happened.
Mugatu or Salt Vampire, all that stuff.
So before Adam asked if it was a woman, I was going to ask, does Kirk kiss it?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's see. Is it an augment? No.
I don't even know. Were there any women? I guess there were some women
cinematographic. Does
augments.
Spock communicate with her? Yes.
Spock communicates with her. Is this? Did we ask if this was a human?
No, that's not been asked yet.
Is this
So
a
I'm saying
human?
all the obvious questions have not come up yet. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Shoot. Is this a member of the Enterprise crew?
Yes.
Oh.
Do you have a guess?
Nurse Chapel.
Not Nurse Chapel. I'm not seeing anything else from the audience, so we'll go back to Adam.
Is it Yeoman Rand?
It is not Yeoman Rand.
Ah, darn.
So that was a guess. Did you get a question?
Oh, do you want to ask a question? You want to make it easier for Brandon by asking a question?
Is this person wear a red uniform?
No.
No.
Somebody asked if it was Marl MacGyver's. It is not Marl MacGyver's.
Is it, well, shoot. Did we ask if we see them more than one series?
The answer was no.
Okay. Is, does this person appear in more than one episode?
Yes.
Oh.
More than one episode.
Blessed Sim is Uhura. It is not Uhura.
That's why I asked if this was a red uniform.
No, Michael Gee, and welcome. I don't recognize that name. Not played by Dr. Pulaski. Not played by Diana Muldaur.
No. And her characters only appear in one episode.
One episode each. And I don't remember the names of them right now.
One of them is the
It'll come to me eventually.
What's it called? Not All Our Yesterday. Tomorrow is Yesterday.
Yeah.
And then the one with the blind guy that's like, liar! I can't remember. Or she's blind. And then that crazy
That's
guy.
right. I always forget what the second one is. And nobody remembers her in that. In fact, I think most people don't remember she was in more than one episode.
Yeah.
Not Carol Marcus. That's from a movie.
Oh, God. Oh, man. And it's a woman that's not Uhura. There's not a lot of women characters in that show.
We've really narrowed it down to, I think, about all it possibly could be, and I'm really surprised that it's taking this long.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe it's got to be somebody obvious that I can't even remember.
Yeah? There's going to be some kicking ourselves.
Who else is on the show? Um,
I'm gonna be really excited if you guys have to forfeit on this. That's gonna be the best.
she's in Starfleet. Oh my
No,
gosh.
no, Tom. It's not the girl who falls in love with Khan. That was already asked.
That was
That's
already
Marla
asked.
McGivers.
Let
And
me
he
think
spelled
here.
Khan Kahan
Kahan.
or Kahan. Can you imagine if that was his name? Kahan!
Is she in also the Mirror universe that we've seen?
Nope.
Oh man,
But if she was, that's still only one episode.
that's one episode. You're right. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Oh, what is her name? I can't remember it. I know it.
Monroe.
Monroe. Yeah, that's right. Marlena
Monroe.
Monroe. There you go.
Yeah.
Is she in the pilot?
Yes.
Is it number 1?
It's number 1.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
More
Yes,
than one
technically,
episode? Oh, gosh,
technically
the
2 episodes
Menagerie.
because the
Yeah.
Cage and the Menagerie. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to answer it that way.
Dang
And
it.
and for our purposes,
I gotcha, Adam.
and for our purposes, 1 series because we're not counting New Trek in our trivia to make things simpler on us. So technically, she's in she is in 2 shows because she does show up in Discovery, but we're not counting that for the sake of our trivia. Okay.
I thought for sure Adam was going to get it before I got a chance.
Okay, let's do one more. I think it's gonna be easier for you guys, and we're gonna start with Adam. Go ahead.
Okay. Is it alive?
It is alive, Brandon. Nope, you're wrong. Let's go.
Is it from the Delta Quadrant?
It is from the Delta Quadrant,
Oh.
Brandon. Do you have a guess?
Delta Quadrant.
Is it the Kazon?
It is not the Kazon. Grr. All right, I'm not seeing anything from the audience, so we'll go back to Adam.
It's the swarm.
It's not the Swarm. Is that your guess?
That's my guess.
Well, you can ask your question.
Just start going
You
off
ask
the
your question.
rails.
Is this
We can get there eventually,
Yeah.
I think, just
Yeah.
doing that.
is this a species?
It is a species. That's why we would have gotten there if you guys just kept throwing species back and
Yeah.
forth. Brandon.
Is it from Fluidic Space?
It is not from Fluidic Space. That would not be the Delta Quadrant.
Oh.
Just for the
Fluid.
record. They do show up in the Delta
Yeah.
Quadrant, but Fluidic Space is another... Okay, here's what's really funny about Fluidic Space, okay? My wife and I watched In the Flesh the other day, and I think, I could be wrong, but I think Voyager has the same confusion that the MCU has about Asgard and what a realm is, because they say realm and sometimes they talk about it like it's another dimension and sometimes they talk about it like it's another galaxy. And In the Flesh is another galaxy,
really?
but I wasn't sure about
I
that in
always thought it was a dimension.
Scorpion. I thought it was another dimension. Yeah. So you're
Oh.
saying that there is in our dimension a galaxy, that is made of fluid. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How much sense does that make? They're just throwing around words at that point, and that's why
That's a
I say
bad
they get
episode,
really
so we
sloppy.
can just-
You know
Oh,
how
it's
much
the
fluid that
worst.
would have to
Valerie
be?
Archer.
How much fluid that would have to be?
A lot of
galaxy?
a lot of darn fluid is what that would be. Yeah. Michael Yee guesses the Crenum. It's not the Crenum. We actually did the Crenum a couple weeks ago, and it would not be unlike me to forget that and accidentally do the same one again. But I didn't do that. So Adam, it's your turn. I think. Is it Adam's turn?
It's Adam's
Okay.
turn.
Go ahead, Adam.
Does this species pose a threat to our intrepid crew of the Intrepid class Voyager?
They sure do.
Okay.
Wait, do you have a guess? Do you have a guess?
Is
Not that that
it
narrows it way down, but
is it the Vidian?
yes, you got
Oh.
it. It's the Vinians. That's what we were looking for.
I was gonna ask if this species like to dump waste in a void.
I think of the That's what I was gonna. The Mela.
Okay, that's another thing that Sarah and I have been complaining about watching through season 4. Are we into 5 now? We're into 5 now in Voyager, and the Malon seem to be a whole species that does nothing but dump trash. Think about it. Why is it that you never see a Malon that's not dumping trash?
I thought
right?
they had addressed that.
Well, I think they
If
do
they
address that.
were.
They say like
No,
Oh,
no. That's
our
just one
technology
segment
this,
of their
you know.
society.
Oh.
It's like there's waste management people. They don't want to get put out of business,
I thought-
which is why they use the void, right? But if you think about it, there should be other Malon that aren't next to radiation or don't look like
They
that.
talked about that. I thought they said that these were people that that they willingly chose this job as a deed for their society because their technology produces all this toxic waste and they
But we only
they're-
see
That's
the
right. That's right, but that doesn't negate my point.
Well,
So you're saying that they only use space travel for waste management.
No,
you're saying that if they have the ability to go into space, why don't they use it for other stuff also? Why do we never see a Malon that's not dumping trash?
The point in that season, they jumped like 10,000 or more. That's like 30,000 light years.
And they're still Malon.
They're still dealing with these Malon. I don't understand it.
No, I mean, it's not as bad as the Kazon have way worse technology than us, but keep catching up with us, or are there already when we get there? It's ridiculous.
It was one thing when you had the Hirogen. The Hirogen had like an ancient network of those arrays.
The Hirogen works okay because they're kind of all over the place.
Exactly, but like I never how did the Kazon catch up to us? This was always a thing that bothered me.
And I sympathize with the writers. That's hard. But like you can't make every race nomadic. No, right. You know, I mean, it's hard, but I'm sorry, what were you saying, Adam?
I said, didn't they steal their ships? They didn't even have their own. Were they the Trabe? Wasn't that what those people were called, that they stole their ships from?
Oh, dear.
Yeah, they're less technologically advanced than Klingons. Like, they steal more stuff than the Klingons do.
Yeah.
They almost steal more stuff than
and they look like Klingons.
Their ships are really big.
Yeah. Because we gotta act like they're way more menacing than they are. I mean, the Kazon are really the Ferengi all over again, except we didn't get the joke, so we kept pretending like they were scary. Think about it. I mean, it's kind of that all over again.
I hated that whole look of the Kazon, like tree roots for hair.
It's bad. I always called them the Oompa Loompas of the Delta
Jerry
Quadrant.
Taylor is all like, I was inspired by the gangs of Los Angeles or whatever.
Oh, don't blame Jerry Taylor. That was Michael Pillar's fault, man.
Oh, that was Pillar?
That was way more Pillar than Taylor. Yeah.
The gangs
I
of
think
LA or whatever.
No, I think she was trying really hard to help him make that work, but I'm pretty sure the fault is on Pillar on that. Because was it her or was it Lisa? I think it was Lisa Klink who was on the Inglorious Trexperts podcast talking about that, and she was talking about how Pillar thought that they were this great idea, and then they put them into practice, and it was terrible. But anyway, well, let's go ahead and do a quick game before we get into our episode, and this is going to be a really simple one. Brandon, an exercise we've not done in a really long time. Okay. This is going to be cooperative, and the three of us are going to play, and we'll, kind of like we have been with Santa Replicator, we'll give you guys a turn as well. We're going to go round robin. We're going to start at the beginning of the alphabet, and we're going to do an entire alphabet of Star Trek things. Whatever you come up with for the letter that you get, it's got to be a Star Trek thing that starts with that letter, and it has to... What is happening to my monitor? Look at that. Look at that. What was that? That was weird.
That was weird. What just happened? It just went through a bunch of settings.
Yeah, I don't know. And then it's just, like, stuck there. Okay, now it's gone.
Ghost.
I think
Ghost in the machine.
I'd show it to you, but you wouldn't be able to tell anything that's happening. Anyway, so the rule is whatever you come up with has to be specific to Star Trek. Sometimes when we do this, we just pick a category and we just do species or something. I wanted to make it a little bit easier because it's been so long since we've done this. And if it goes fast, we could do a couple of rounds. We'll probably just do one. I guess it just depends on how quickly this goes. Must be specific to Star Trek. When you get to H, don't say human or you're booted out of Star Trek Club. No more Star Trek Club for you. It's got to be specific to Star Trek. And we're going to start with Brandon. Brandon, give me an A!
Anorax.
Hey, good one. Well done. I'm going to go with Benzite for B.
Benzite.
And then we'll let Adam have C, and then we'll let you guys give us the letter after Brandon, or after me, I guess, since, Adam, Brandon, and then myself. And if you don't have anything, we'll go back to Adam. Adam, give me a C!
The Calamarain.
Calamarain. Count 2, 3.
Not to be confused with Calamarain.
Okay, D.
That is one of the best episodes of Star Trek. There is. It's just the best. Give me a D.
Data.
Data is a D. Yes. Now, that word is not specific to Star Trek, but the character is, okay? So you can say that. Also, the way we usually play this is names, you can go first or last. But you have to know the first and last if you start with a first name. Okay, so you said D. Okay, and so I will go with Elan of Troyes.
Oh.
You guys get F if you have an F. But they're just throwing us D's right now. Delton, Dominion. Anybody got an F? Real quick, or I'm going to jump over to Adam. 5 seconds. Somebody give me an F. Okay, Adam, give me an F.
Facerius.
Wow, that's great.
I had something for H, and
Remember
now
the Facerius?
I've got to do G.
Yeah.
You gotta do G. Sorry, Brandon.
Gorn.
Gorn.
I'll go with the Horgon.
Horgon. It's Horgon.
Everybody's saying Ferengi for F. This is a hard game to play with an audience that's trying to type. I don't know if it even makes sense to do that,
So they got
but we're trying. Busted Sim says Federation. That's good. Okay, I. 5 seconds. Somebody give me an I. Somebody give me an I. No, not you. Not you.
Oh,
not
them.
you. Not you. I'm waiting for the audience.
Participation. The at-home game.
Yeah, this is hard. This is hard to do with an audience. We may just forego this and just go real quick around the three of us. Okay, let's go to Adam. Go ahead.
Iconians.
Yeah. Give me a J.
The Jericho.
Yeah, not the Jericho. Captain. No, what's the Jericho?
Jericho was the ship, wasn't it?
I don't know what that is.
What ship?
There's a ship called Jericho.
Oh, wait. I thought there was.
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of Jellicoe the captain?
I think you're thinking of Jellicoe the captain.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to say a K that's not something that we've already said today because we've said all the K things today. So we said Kazon and we said Krenim and obviously Klingons. So I want to come up with something else. Core. That's my K. Oh, see, then there's a bunch of I's. Yeah, this is really just hard to do with a group. Solar Dragon Isolinear chips. Intrepid class says Busted Sim. Ioshan, that's pretty good. Solar Dragon mentioned Jellicoe. Okay, so JKL, Adam. Latinum. You guys feel, you know what we'll do with the audience is on whatever letter we're on, you guys just throw out the first thing that comes to you and we'll read some of them that we didn't say. That will be more fun for everybody, I think. Okay, so you said Latinum, and then we go to Brandon. M. Martok. I'm gonna go with Nausicaan. Yeah. Michael Yee said Kobayashi for K. Cinematographic Lacutia? That rings a bell. I can't remember what that is. I think that's a thing. Okay, so what letter are we on? I just did N, right? So we should be on O.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Ocampa.
P, Brandon.
Paclid.
We look for things.
PQ, I'm gonna go with Quinn from Death Wish.
Yeah.
Let's see. Busted Sim, Metron for M. Busted Sim, what's Niala? That doesn't even ring a bell. Don't know her last name, unfortunately. I'm not sure who that is. Odyssey O'Brien. Okay.
R now.
Yep.
Rock.
Rock.
That big guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Played by Lurch from the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In What Are Little Girls Made Of?
Yeah.
Section 31.
Section 31. There's like a bazillion S's, and you had to go for Section 31. I'm gonna say Tuvix.
Tuvix.
And now we get to you.
Rest in peace, Tuvix.
Michael Yee Radish. They're really weird. That's not specific to Star Trek. It's a specific quote, but it's not. But radishes are not specific to Star Trek.
Unimatrix Zero.
Give me a V, Brandon.
Vidian.
I guess I'll say Yulian, the snowflake people from Violations.
No,
Wait a
I had
minute.
V. You
had
W.
V. Did you already have a U?
Yes, he did.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Well, I had another U. UVW. I guess I'll go with. Let's see. That's obvious. I was hoping to come up with something else. Wayun. I can't think of anything else. Okay. Give me an X.
X. Oh. Let me think here. The Zosa.
Wow.
Like in the freighter Zosa.
Good job. I always have to fall back on Zindi when I get to X.
Yorktown.
Yorktown. That's good. And for Z, I'm going to go with the classic Zakdorn.
Oh, yeah. Zakdorn.
So that's always fun. All right, guys, why don't we take like just a couple minute break, and then we'll so that everybody has time to set up their episode. It is season 5. I think we got confirmed. I'm not sure what the episode number is, so let's go find that. But we're looking for the uniform. Oh, this is gonna be fun to watch together. I haven't seen this in a long time.
Getting done. So yes, this is the second one. This is the follow-up. For the Cause was the first one.
Which is what, the previous season?
I think so, yeah.
Am I right about that?
Where is Deep Space Nine at? Here it is.
I guess for D, somebody could have said Deep Space Nine.
All right, 5.
And you know what you could have said for E? You could have said Empok Nor.
Empok Nor.
And for F, you could have said Flodder.
That's true.
Flodder. Where is this episode at?
It is episode 13 of season 5.
Oh, there it is.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break, and I actually put up a break slide finally, so I have that. Isn't that great? Okay, so we'll see you guys in just a couple minutes. Okay, everybody, we're back. Adam's letting us know that he's back. Adam, we can't hear you, man. There you go.
There you go.
All right, is everybody ready for the uniform?
I am.
Once again, it's episode 5, or it's episode 13 of season 5 of Deep Space Nine, and I hope Adam does a lot of the talking this time because Adam is always making fun of Michael Eddington. This is a thing that he and I talk
I'm not
about.
making fun of Eddington. I'm making fun of Ben Sisko saying Eddington.
The way he says Eddington, yeah.
Yes.
But this comes up a lot. This has been an inside joke for us for years. I'm sorry, what, Adam?
No, he just gets so crazy in this episode over Eddington.
Oh, he's nuts. And I'm looking forward to seeing how Brandon feels about this ending.
Yes.
I was going to say, as per usual, I will be watching the episode.
Oh, no, absolutely. I totally understand. I can't promise I'm not going to make fun of you.
No.
But because I can never promise that.
I'll add my gold nuggets when they come to me.
Your gold nuggets.
That's right.
Give me 1 second, everybody. Okay, there we go. Lost my comments for a minute. Okay, here we go. Everybody get ready to press play when I say now. Get it at timestamp 0. And here we go. Everybody, please press play right now. He's in a cave.
Yeah. I wonder how much they use this cave set a lot, man.
I don't know what's going on there.
I guess they still use rebar in the 24th century.
That makes sense. I wonder if they still have like picket fences and if they still have barbed wire and
yeah. I forgot it opens like this.
Yeah, I did too. So there's gonna be a number of surprises in this episode for me because it's been a while since I've seen it. I just remember that insane ending.
Yes.
So
felt like Avery...
is it the other one before this? Oh, I forgot that he holds him at the Tog knife point. That's pretty cool. Oh, no, that's not a knife.
That's a disruptor.
That's a disruptor. Sorry. For a second, just the lighting, it looked like a knife. But anyway, I guess I forgot that because it didn't happen. But was it the previous one where he actually had to work with him for a minute?
No, that's the next one. The last Eddington episode where Eddington kicks the bucket.
Oh, okay. So there's 3 of them?
Yes, there's one where Eddington rescues the remaining people, the remaining Maquis members.
That means I don't remember what happens in For the Cause at all, except
that's the one where Cassidy gets uncovered as helping the Maquis.
That's right.
And stuff.
Yep. And she gets slapped on the wrist, and then we never talk about it again. I mean, she... Okay, we do for a second. Like, yeah, she gets in prison for a minute, but it's basically 30 days. Like, you know, like Voyager.
Yeah.
This guy is really good. He's got a lot of range. I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else.
I've never seen it. Yeah, I was going to say that. I don't think I've ever seen him. I always felt like Avery Brooks could have been like an action star.
I think so, too. Unlike Patrick Stewart, who always wanted to be an action star. Dude, I've been listening to the audiobook version of the 50-Year Mission and going back through the TNG stuff, and some of the stories are obviously crazy, but especially with Patrick Stewart, like he kept complaining about or wanted to veto a lot of like the best things they did in that show, which I didn't realize. He wanted to axe the mind meld in Sarek.
Really?
Oh, really?
Wow.
They changed 2 lines and accommodated him, and he was fine, thank God. But like a lot of the best stuff. And the reason Starship Mine happens is because he complains he's not an action hero.
I like Starship Mine, though.
I do too, but we got lucky that we got a decent episode out of that. So that means that action movie Picard is Patrick Stewart's fault. Anyway, but DS9.
Like Argo. Yeah.
So, Adam, do you wish that we had brought back that original Maquis captain?
Who was the original Maquis captain?
You know who I'm talking about? The black guy from the Maquis. I think the Maquis.
Casey, yes.
Yeah.
Bernie Casey. What was his name? Cal Hudson.
Cal Hudson, yeah.
I wish we could have brought him back.
I wish we. He does survive, right? Or does he get killed in that?
He survives.
I thought so. So why do we never see him again?
I don't know.
And
I don't know if the actor was busy or what.
And then he kind of becomes the face of the Maquis.
Yeah.
What's really weird, for folks that don't know, is the Maquis were created for Voyager.
Right.
And they were introduced in DS9 to establish this whole conflict so that you could have the two kind of warring crews in Voyager, which was a concept, and we talk about this all the time here in Club, that we immediately abandoned. And then, ironically, it was DS9 that kept doing stuff with it.
Right.
But,
we even did a TNG episode with the Maquis, too. That's right. Where Roland ended up.
That is the Preemptive Strike, the second to last episode of TNG.
Yeah. Which is all...
Oh, Solar Dragon, ain't that the truth? He says never get to know your heroes, Cap. Yeah, like I still think Patrick Stewart overall is a pretty cool guy, but he does not seem to understand what made TNG good, and it makes me sad whenever he talks about it now.
Yeah.
And it seems like he is at least partially to blame for what happened with Picard. And the worst, one of the worst things they could have done, I think, is put him in that writer's room, which is a really sad thing to say, but...
Oh, yeah.
He makes a big deal before that show comes out. Okay, we're doing something different. Like, oh, he wasn't talking about just not repeating themselves. He didn't like TNG that much, is what I'm learning.
Wow.
He almost left before season 7. He almost didn't come back for 7. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Who didn't?
Patrick Stewart.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know you're watching the episode. Patrick Stewart is about all we've been talking about for the last 5 minutes.
I was just making sure you were still on Patrick Stewart, because I heard you start with Patrick Stewart.
We sure were. Yeah. Busted Sim, and Ro is here somewhere but never seen. Voyager wasted the Maquis. Yes, both of those statements are correct.
Ro...
that is because she wanted to go on for a movie career, and that's why Michelle Forbes, and that's why they didn't use Ro in DS9, and they had to create Kira. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've said this before, but Deep Space Nine is a majestic space station.
That's about all you ever think to say, because you don't know the show at all. So you just talk about the space station, because we have to look at it spinning for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it still looks good. Holds up.
Yep. But it's kind of redundant, because you say that about all of them.
They're all good. All the space stations.
Okay, so you now made that point.
All space stations are good space stations.
but you say that with every intro. Like, there's not a bad intro though, as far as what the ships look like.
Well, no, but the space station is just, it especially looks really good this big.
But Sim, maybe they should have had the Borg killer weapon actually work and kill Picard, because at this point Captain Riker is sounding pretty good. Yeah, I actually can't help but agree with that, except that a lot of the best Picard episodes would have never been made if you'd done that. So for those individual episodes, that would suck, and I would hate to lose that. For the sake of the future of the rest of Star Trek, ultimately, yeah, might have been a good call. Yeah. Another thing I found out today that I didn't know, reading that book, listening to that book, because reading and listening are different things, is that, and I don't mean to just talk about TNG while we're watching DS9, but this is on my mind. Originally, the idea with Second Chances was that they were going to kill off Will Riker and let Tom Riker be on the show for the rest of the
I think I knew about that.
Season. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
The new
that was crazy.
That's the thing you were talking about earlier.
Oh,
yeah, which is completely pointless.
Pregnant.
So the reason we use that's right, yeah, she's pregnant. So the reason we use the holo communicator is so that we can have a lot of face-to-face confrontation with Sisko and Eddington, because they're basically going to do a Wrath of Khan kind of thing where they're not really on screen together very much.
Yes.
But this way it feels like they are, and that's cool if this is how we always did it. But
they
the
never do
problem
it
is
again.
we have view screens in this show. So and so it reads real contrived. Like, just for the sake of this episode, we put this in here. And we've talked about this, but Adam, the idea that this is like somehow difficult, complicated technology, like if they want to have this, they can just have this. I don't understand why we get rid of it.
They took the table out to put this. The Malinche. I like that name.
I lost all
For a
sense
ship.
in the headphones.
I think the civilian clothes got like way better in Deep Space Nine than they ever were in TNG.
Buzz said, "Look at this wondrous new technology that we've never seen before." But again, if you think about it for 5 seconds, it's not new. It's just a basic extension of a holodeck. There's no reason we couldn't have been doing it this way the whole time. If we have EMHs, why couldn't we have this in place of view screens or on top of view screens?
And you go back to season 1 of TNG, and they were doing stuff with the having little holographic imagers in the table and stuff. Remember that?
Yeah, so it's like we're retconning it so that technology, so that our technology is lesser than it was.
And why does Eddington have this?
That's the biggest thing I don't understand. So is it just one way? Like anybody who's on a view screen comes out this way?
Can bring out that way, but he sees him as a view screen. Yeah, I don't know.
Is there any discussion about it, or
they might show
is he just on there?
Know.
I don't remember. Like, it's kind of a fun effect. Like, it's the cheapest thing imaginable. You just have a light on the floor.
And a light on his head.
Yeah, the light on your head is the silliest
What's
thing
going
about
on with the computer back there? Why is it going all crazy?
That monitor's out. They need to replace that monitor. What's going on back there?
They need to degauss.
What is going on in that monitor back there?
It's all memory cores.
Right, but every other monitor has, like, normal things on them. So I don't really understand
it was a
why.
sensor log that went blank.
Is that what it was?
It's showing the cosmic background radiation, you know, a la old TV screens.
Solar Dragon, what is your favorite theme music of any of the Trek shows, Cap? Mine remains TNG if we're just talking about shows. My favorite theme overall is the one from First Contact.
That's great. First Contact's a great theme. I love First Contact. I like Wrath of Khan.
Oh, of course.
I like the Deep Space Nine theme just because it's got a very, very distinct, repetitive thing to it I like. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And they bring it back in different places in the score of the show.
Yeah, I just love, and I love Horner in general.
Yeah.
I think Star Trek 6 has one of the best themes.
Star Trek 6 got a good theme. Generations has a good theme.
Generations has a fine theme. I'm not in love with it or anything.
Do you not like it?
I mean, I like it, but it's a little generic.
Yeah.
I think I maybe changed my mind about that over the years a little bit. At one time, I said I wished that was the theme for Enterprise. I don't know if I have that anymore, but...
You know what the theme that's kind of weird?
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll read that comment in a minute.
The theme that's kind of weird is the theme for Star Trek 4. And then the whole thing when they're in San Francisco and they have like the Axel Foley kind of music going and stuff.
It's even weirder than you think it is, Adam, because I watched a movie on Patreon request a couple months ago from the mid-'80s that was this kind of like kids spy thriller. It was surprisingly okay, called Cloak and Dagger. And that
I've heard of that.
And that same composer did that score and verbatim, nearly, the same theme from Star Trek 4. Nearly verbatim. It's embarrassing.
What's that guy's name? I can't even think of his name now. I can't remember
right now either. But it's exactly the same thing as what happened with Elfman with Batman '89 and Darkman, where they're like almost the same score.
Right. Or Horner when he took the Klingon theme from Star Trek 3 and reused it in Aliens.
Oh man. So Adam, you're gonna love this. So Busted Sim says, talking about that that hologram communicator, he says, you know, it'd be ridiculous is if they had this like 100 years ago. You know, that would be ridiculous. Glad we never did that.
Wow.
It gets
Rhodium
even
nitrate.
worse because they've got
Nitrite.
like crazy force field technology in that show, like way too early, and
Yeah.
but to Sam, apparently the reason they got rid of this was because it was a difficult effect to do over and over at the time, possibly due to what is behind the person when they pop up.
Oh.
How do you figure? Isn't it the same thing
Is
as
he just standing there?
Yeah, you're just standing there.
Literally standing there with a light on him.
Yeah,
Spotlight.
like the effect
I don't
of getting the
understand it.
person there would be exactly
they
the same
do
as a
like
transporter
a little thing
effect.
where he appears, but that's like a transporter.
That's what I'm saying. It's a transporter effect.
Yeah.
I don't really understand that.
Understand that.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I think
All you have to do is film the space and then, film them and splice it in, or whatever,
I would think you did it as a
rotos-
cost-cutting measure for the sake of not having to add like extra time to shoot separate things, because you can have the guy there on the set and shoot it all together instead of having to shoot him in a separate room.
Yeah. I was fool. Cisco. You know, every captain seems to have a moment where they go a little crazy. You
That's
notice
true.
that every
nobody as much as
show
Cisco.
has it, and some more than others. But it seems like everyone has at least a little moment where that happens.
Yeah.
Hunting.
Now, when you get to, well, I say never more than Cisco. What he does at the end of this is pretty freaking nuts.
Oh, come on. What about Janeway when she's going to space people?
That's what I was about to say. Is that, but here's the difference. So when we get to Janeway and Archer, it feels like simultaneously we're doing that kind of thing in like a post 9/11 sort of way for shock factor, but
Right.
but at the same time, it's like the producers don't realize how far they're going.
Right.
It's
but
like
I
they
don't know
don't
the
think
excuse for
those
Voyager,
characters
but-
are as crazy as they are. Cisco,
Right.
they know exactly what they're doing here.
Right.
And
Voyager,
whenever
I don't
Kirk
even know
or
what the
Picard
excuse
goes very
is,
far, they know
9/11
exactly
hadn't
what they're
happened
doing.
Yet.
I'm sorry, what?
I said 9/11 hadn't happened yet in Voyager when it was on.
That's a good point.
So I don't even know why they did.
But like all of season 3 is a 9/11 allegory
Yeah.
from Enterprise.
Do you think this is a holographic bag?
You think those are holographic gloves?
Holographic gloves! I even took him to a baseball game.
I love his performance in this, man, where he's just
Oh
really
my
losing
God.
it. I
Yes.
also liked it. Well, first of all, I just like it whenever Cisco's got an arch nemesis, and he's got a couple of them. He's got it with Eddington, and he's got it with Ducat, and for very different reasons with both of them, where they play as foils for this character in different ways. It's nice to have an alien version of that and a Starfleet officer version of that. But the other thing that's really nice about it is Cisco gets a lot of stuff out of his system before he has to deal with the Dominion War.
Right.
And so we're seeing a kind of like less mature, less ready for stuff Cisco right now. I could make the argument that when we get into the Dominion War, he's going to handle himself better there and be able to keep himself together better because he's had this whole thing with Eddington.
Right. And he doesn't
and some
act
other
this way the
conflicts, too.
second time, or the last time he deals with Eddington, he's not like this.
Yeah, well, a lot of this with him right now is insecurity.
Right.
Cisco is a character who's always really hard on himself. He is angry more with himself than he is with Eddington because Eddington pulled the wool over his eyes, and he can't handle that. He's basically, to a lesser degree, acting like Hank Schrader right now at the end of Breaking Bad. Where it's like, how did I not know that my brother-in-law was selling meth next door? Like, how did I not know that? This is that whole thing. This was on Cisco's watch. He feels responsible. To a degree, you could argue that he is responsible. Sometimes this show likes to treat Starfleet as really super bureaucratic, and sometimes it likes to, and I guess it just depends on the admiral or whatever, maybe. Maybe that's giving it too much credit. And sometimes it treats them as, kind of more Roddenberry enlightened. Here, it's more that second thing. You could have seen that admiral taking him way more to task than he is, but he's kind of patting him on the back and being like, I understand why you didn't, nobody would have figured that out.
Well, that other guy, I think, was actually a captain like Cisco. He's the
was he?
captain of that Malinche ship. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he's not out.
So maybe that's why he's not in the position to really take him to task.
Okay, well then he's lucky that Nechiyev's not getting on the line right now. Going, God, first Picard with the Borg, and now you? Like, what the heck? Next time you find Eddington, I don't care what it takes.
Fine.
And I wish that scene was in there, because then we could blame Nechayev for Sisko sending a biological weapon to a planet. That's what I wish.
Spoiled it for Brandon.
I mean, if he's gonna be here for Star Trek Club while we're talking about, I'm not gonna be careful about that. I'm just not.
What'll it be?
I also mentioned it already.
That's true.
Busted Sim, what's interesting is, to talk about the movies again, is that you can tell the tone of the TOS films by the theme. Motion picture is basically Star Trek, Wrath of Khan is the Hornblower piracy adventure, Search for Spock is lower key personal, and Voyage Home is comedic. Yep, and that is true.
And Star Trek 6 is like a conspiracy kind of sound to it and stuff, you know? In Star Trek 5, I don't know.
I don't know what that is. That's actually a pretty good score too.
It's a good score, but the movie's just weird.
That is all kinds of things. Solar Dragon, I think Sisko's choice to bomb the planet would have been more understandable if Eddington actually killed the admiral. Are we sure that's not an admiral? I thought that was an admiral.
I think he was a captain. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought he was wearing admiral stripes. I mean, we'll see him again, I think.
Exploding.
That'd be a cool.
So I want to talk about how unsafe the Defiance warp core is. Because you remember that white part of the warp core, if you touch it, you die. And that seems like, okay, now they got a little railing around there, but still, that seems very,
you touch that,
very
you
unsafe.
die?
Yeah.
Are we sure? Okay, but are we sure it's not like First Contact where there's a force field around the whole thing?
There might be, but Odo throws the changeling on there and kills him. Remember that whole thing?
I forgot about that. Maybe he turned off the force field and we didn't see that part. Maybe that happened. Stephen Murphy, Star Trek V is about God. Busts him. Star Trek V represents Shatner's ego. Stephen Murphy and a mountain or something.
Yeah, because it's there.
Because it's there.
That's what you're thinking.
Okay, but in this context, is that a good thing?
That's not good.
That he's becoming more like Curzon? I don't know if that's a good thing. Because Curzon was crazy person.
Curzon was crazy. He wanted to take Odo's body over for a while. Remember that whole thing?
Do you think? Yeah. Oh, it was nuts. Yeah, that's the only time that we really got to see Curzon as a character, and you get the sense that that is accurate. That is what that character would do. He's nuts.
Yeah.
How much respect do you have for this show for never doing a flashback with Curzon besides right at the beginning with when he's dying? Like, we never get an actor portraying that character, but I have a real distinct sense in my head of who he was. And it's great.
That was like and that was like an orb thing. So that was kind of an excusable to do a flashback.
That's true.
Moment too.
Well, and I don't know if this is why they did that, because obviously DS9 very much goes its own way, but no flashbacks was a Roddenberry edict from the beginning of TNG.
Really?
No flashbacks, no dream sequences, but then they start breaking a lot of them, like no time travel.
Gray.
And then he had weird edicts like, but again, there was a device for that. Yeah. That wasn't just let's have flashbacks to explain things. That's different, but it's still stupid, but it's different. But then there were things that they broke right away that were weird. Like, they weren't supposed to have... Roddenberry wanted no references at all, at least for the first few seasons, to TOS. Like, hardly at all. And I guess they made an exception for McCoy in the first episode, but the second episode is a remake of a TOS episode where they evoke that episode. So I don't even understand that. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense.
So Sisko's taking the Defiant out, and it's not really working right now. Like, they're having to manually steer this thing.
It's the beginning of Star Trek V.
I know. He's showing just how crazy.
These shots are cool because you never see
the whole thing with Nog. Oh my god, that's great. So they're doing like what they do in submarines, where they like have a kind of a guy repeating the order, and then down the line. I forgot that whole thing.
Yeah, it's really creative.
Yeah.
That was a ridiculous.
But this also
roll.
shows how crazy Cisco's gotten to take the ship out in this condition.
This is a neat idea, but I do think that it's kind of contrived and kind of silly and a bad idea. Like, do you have no ships close enough in range that you couldn't wait for one?
They said that other one, that Malinche that was helping them out, was over on the other side of the Badlands, supposedly. I don't know.
But they got nothing else? Like, okay, here's why this is weird. So, you got an impending potential conflict with the Dominion. I'm pretty sure we're late enough now that we're worried that's going to happen.
They should have starships there all the time.
And you are at war with the Klingons still.
Is that still going on?
Or are you? I'm actually not sure now.
I think that's.
Is that over?
At this point, okay. Maybe. I don't remember.
Okay,
I think that was near the beginning of this season.
I'm gonna say it's convenient enough. Yeah, that looks awesome. I'm gonna say it's convenient enough that there's not it's worth it because it's neat to see that stuff, and they are being very nautical and very Rathacon right now, and I love that. It's fun. Like, they're at another nebula. They're gonna use Eddington a lot like they used Khan. Like, that's why they're doing all that nautical stuff you're talking about. But half the time you see, like, a Galaxy-class starship on a pylon.
I know.
Like, there's no ships there right now? Okay. Busted Sim wants to know if there's any pilots on the wheel. I don't think so unless Farpoint's there.
Farpoint. Farpoint Station.
I'm pretty sure...
Even the name sounds mysterious, Captain.
Yeah, I watched that today. Mr. Eddington, how did you get this technology, buddy?
How did you get this, Eddington?
He said earlier that we're lucky we're able to procure one of these. It was a one offline that, you know, they didn't have to explain. But my question is if you're in a nebula like this and it's already messing with all your systems, how is this one still working? Like, nebulas usually mar your view screen. You can't hear very well.
And to that point, the first thing that goes offline is the frickin' holodeck. Like, every time.
Yeah. The Badlands didn't ever... I don't know, did they have that effect like regular nebulas do? I don't remember them showing.
I thought it was worse because it's the Badlands. Remember when Voyager went in there to try to find a Maquis ship? It was blind.
Was it?
I thought
Did we lose the view screen?
I don't think they ever lost the view screen or anything.
I don't remember for sure.
Solar Dragon, what we leave behind is not on the wheel. Busted Sim just put in a $2 super chat for Broken Bow, so we'll put that there. That'll be fun.
Broken Bow.
I really enjoy watching that.
And prepare to be boarded.
So we can watch Clang.
This is when he calls him Javert the whole time. Yes, I forgot about this.
That actually gets kind of irritating. But again... you know what? I don't know if I've had this thought before. This is, in its way, DS9's remake of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Because you've got to have that literary device where we're constantly paralleling a relatively, well-known classic work of literature. Mm-hmm. Not that that's a thing I ever read, but I know of it.
I know you kind of mentioned this a minute ago, but this is a cool, submarine vibe. I feel like it's very, Hunt for Red October style.
But again, or Run Silent, Run Deep, it's Wrath of Khan again. That's why it's that, yeah.
Uh-oh.
So that was almost exactly the Picard facepalm with the camera in the same place.
Yeah.
Except, interestingly, not used for comedy.
Look at that
it's venting into space from its nacelle there.
Yeah.
So I used to be, and I don't want to burst your bubble when I say this, Brandon, I used to be a big fan of the Excelsior class.
Yes.
And then I saw it from underneath. And that ship looks awful when you shoot it from underneath. It's got this weird flat bottom.
It does, and it has that real curved up at the very back end of the thing.
And I don't know about you, but
I like it.
But for me, flat bottom ships do not make the world go round. I don't understand that.
Oh,
I just think it's very silly.
Well, I don't know. It still gets me. I still enjoy it very much. I think that some of the cells are too thin sometimes. That what gets me, but. I do like it.
It looks unfinished, is the thing. It looks like they need to put something on top of that flat section.
It's very long. It's very 80s. It's very... you know,
And the
I don't know.
colorization is weird.
It's very
Like, by this point, we should have
Sony, very
repainted
Japanese
them so they're not bright
electronics is what
They should be
blue
more
anymore.
Aztec colored.
I don't like that they're. I don't know about that, but I don't like that they're blue. I don't know. It's weird. I never noticed it, Brandon, until I saw a toy of it.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Of
loving the
what?
Excelsior, and then I saw a toy, and I was like, "This is stupid looking."
The toy is way more gray and blue. It's like blue steel than it shows up in like the movies and stuff. Honestly.
No, but I'm just talking about the shape of it. Like, I never noticed the flatness
yeah.
until I saw the toy. Is what I'm saying. Michael Yee, I spit my last breath at thee, yet he keeps talking.
That other captain reminded me of the guy who used to voice Unsolved Mysteries in the 90s.
Robert Stack.
Robert Stack, yeah.
Yeah, and Adam, I'm with you. I don't like that the new show doesn't have that.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch what beyond the first episode or so. I was like,
I finished it. It was good.
I wanted more crazy alien stuff. I thought it was like more true crime stuff.
There was one episode of that. There was one episode of that at the end.
Okay.
Okay,
Odo.
he doesn't even have the light over his head.
I know. Maybe Odo, the light doesn't show up on him. Because he's a shapeshifter.
Odo looks like he just walked into this room and stood on top of this. You know why? Because that's what he did.
He did. It sounded like those rhino people from Doctor Who.
The Rhino! I just love how frustrated Cisco is through this.
Yes.
Like, it's risky to play a character that way because he can come off as really unsympathetic because he could look like really whiny and really woe is me. But like, it's I think it's a good character arc. And I haven't watched this in a while, but I mean, like, I don't know. Cisco's not crying. He's just like kicking himself constantly, and like it could border on irritating, but I find it like really understandable why he feels that way. And importantly, like, the writing understands that he can't be like this forever. It's not playing him as super endearing for doing that. It's saying that he's in a bad place right now, and he's gonna have to get over this eventually.
Right. I forgot the Breen showed or was referenced in this episode, considering that they play a big part later on in this series. You know.
Yeah, we do that a lot. Like we keep bringing up the Breen, and then eventually we'll bring them up in relation to the Dominion, and then we'll finally actually see them a lot. Is the first time we see Breen in that like concentration camp with Bashir, or is it before that?
That's the first time.
I thought so.
That one Breen that was in there, it never says anything.
Solar Dragon, Cap, do you think the ending of this episode is as cynical as anything in New Trek? No, because it's doing it in a context where it's not supposed to be like flashy and cool or like just like, you know, shocking us for the sake of it.
Right.
Like it's Cisco getting desperate, and this being his white whale. This is Wrath of Khan if like Kirk was Ahab as opposed to Khan, right?
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, it's kind of that. This is going to be more like what Picard's doing with the Borg in First Contact, except I think Cisco's more in character, and Picard ultimately kind of drops that whole thing, and Cisco goes pretty much all the way with it.
Goes all the way, man.
I would also argue that the fact that he's willing to go that far makes In the Pale Moonlight work, and that you maybe would not buy the end of that episode if you didn't have something like this.
Right.
So it is very morally ambiguous, but that is this character. Again, the show is not cynical. You have a captain that is bordering on it.
Yeah.
For really understandable reasons. Like, we do get him there. With Discovery, it's the whole series. It's just people that don't understand what Star Trek is. That have changed the premise and didn't realize it and keep talking about it like they didn't change the premise.
Yeah.
And as I've always said, if that show was just like good dystopian science fiction, and pretended to be Star Trek but wasn't, I could be, you know, irritated that it wasn't Star Trek but enjoy it for the thing it is. But we have to keep getting these speeches about how we're altruistic and better in the future, but we're never seeing that on the screen. That's what makes that show cynical. Right. Not because it's dark. This show is cynical in a world where Earth is still a utopia. Arguably, that utopia is sometimes hanging by a thread, but it is still the utopia, certainly. Right. It's about attitude. It's about the way you tell the story. It's about what your status quo is versus the stories you're telling.
So he's already. So Eddington's already poisoned his planet here.
Busts him, and everyone questions it in the moment. They go through with it, but not without consternation. Unlike, yes, what a fabulous idea. Let's booby trap a body. What Geneva Conventions? That's exactly right.
Wait, where did they booby trap a body? When did that happen?
That happened somewhere in Discovery. I forget now. Is that one of the things they do at the end on the?
Oh, maybe they do it on the Klingons.
At the Klingon planet.
Like they blow up a Klingon.
Isn't that what it is at Kronos?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember.
No, you articulated that so much better than I did. Busted Tim. That's precisely right.
Yeah. The choice is yours.
Alexi really wants to come on the channel and do commentaries with me on those episodes, and I don't know if I've got the stamina to do that, but he's begging me to do it, so that we can just really break down what is going on with that show.
Yeah,
he didn't push the button. Everybody's pushed a button to go away, and he didn't this time.
Well, it's like combat, just Brandon. You know, sometimes you need them and sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they destroyed one Maquis ship.
Well, they destroyed one of them.
Yeah, why'd they destroy that Maquis ship?
Because they were going to try to destroy the other one, but then they almost killed these Cardassians, so Cisco had to save them, basically.
Avery Brooks plays at wit's end so well, man.
I know.
I love all of this. He's just like... This whole situation and how unbearable it is that he hasn't gotten Eddington yet is like, it gives him a headache. It's so good.
There's another great gif of him doing like a face palm when he's standing in front of the Bajoran temple. I can't remember what the context is, but...
So I love that. Like, I love that somebody in the 24th century would have a difficult time getting through Hunchback of Notre Dame because... she says because it's melodramatic, but I suspect it also has something to do with how cynical it is. Like how many books are written in the 24th century where at the end everybody dies?
Les Miserables is similar.
Yeah, like when people when people ask me if DS9 is going against Roddenberry's vision, and that's a whole can of worms because he didn't know what his vision was by the time he got to TNG. I mean, it was all over
crazy.
The place. And like it's not even a premise for a TV show at that point. It's just this like this just like over the top impossible.
He did a lot of drugs in the 70s, and that was
yeah. And he also never looked at a script that he didn't write without going, no, this doesn't work, and also you need more sex. Every single script was like that. But I give you though when you asked that question, that line that she just had, like Roddenberry would have loved somebody in the 24th century doesn't get Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Let's assume that was the pilot. Oh, the exploding person was the pilot? The finale was let's blow up their planet. Yeah. But I couldn't remember if it was like a person that they sent like a MacGuffin weapon into the core of the planet. I remember that.
That's not necessarily all of what Valjean's arc is in that book.
And I've never read that, so I don't have a dog in this fight.
He's also repenting because he steals something from a child and stuff too. He was a thief and a criminal.
Oh, so they're oversimplifying it and making him more altruistic than he was, huh?
Yeah.
I wish they'd done the stereotypical Star Trek thing there and like given us a more their historical figure that was in our future. You know, they gave us a couple of historical examples in our history, and then they usually give something like in their history that we don't have. They didn't do that this time. I was disappointed.
Yeah, that's fair. Busted Sim, $2 super chat. Any one of TOS's first episodes, your choice. Okay, which one are we going to put in there? Are we going to do The Cage? Are we going to do Where No Man Has Gone Before? Or are we going to do, because the first aired episode is Man Trap. So any of those three.
The Cage.
I think we should put The Cage on the board. Yeah.
Okay.
Cage. The women.
The women! There's an episode of Altman's podcast, Adam, where they focus on women in Star Trek, and that's what they named the episode. The women. In all caps, it's really funny. But that's still not my favorite quote from The Cage. My favorite quote from The Cage is, "It's just as real as this table. And just as impossible to ignore." There's also "They don't mean to be evil." That one's pretty good too.
Or what about unusually strong feminine drives? That's a Roddenberry line right
Perfect
there.
Perfect delivery, Adam. Perfect.
Oh man.
Because I'm going to blow up this planet.
Well, that's
He's like,
fascinating.
well,
that doesn't seem like Cisco.
God, look at this reaction. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
Just look at the way everybody responds. And they're like, we're actually going to do this. Now, this seems like a place where if Worf was ever going to mutiny, it'd be right now.
Worf would right now. I mean, he stood up to Picard in First Contact.
And Cisco's making it very clear to his crew here that he's not bluffing. He's not, because there's no reason he couldn't say, we're going to pretend to do this, but nobody panic, we're not going to do it. No, he goes, make preparations.
Right.
It's like self-destruct, like he's doing it.
He's doing
it. Solar Dragon, war crime time.
War crime time. Javert.
Which is funny, like, I don't even know if you could call this a war crime, because, like, isn't it terrorism before it's a war crime? Like, I don't know if, are we officially at war with the Maquis? Like, is the Maquis an entity that you could be, that you could officially declare war on?
It's balancing the scales.
What are you holding there, Nog? Is it a camera? Is it a light? Like, what the heck is that?
That's his ear thing, so he can talk to the other people in the other part of the ship.
It's almost like he wants to make sure that everybody gets to see that cool prop.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know why he doesn't wear it. But...
I got to hold it up so everybody can see this cool prop that somebody made.
Whoa,
that's turning really fast.
Yeah.
Trilithium resin. That's back to.
Yeah, see, like, Cisco's intentionally being the bad guy right now. Like, this is Wrath of Khan if the captain was Khan.
Wasn't trilithium resin in Starship Mine?
Solar Dragon, yeah. Even the Klingon is doing a double take.
Yeah.
And you have been intolerable to me. I feel like Addington's got a take too.
Oh, he wasn't just going to do like one planet. I forgot that he was going to go all the way. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, he is. Yeah. He's not Khan. He's Nero.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes, there it is.
There it is. Yes. Adam says that all the time. You betrayed your uniform. Man, look at his Gowron eyes. God, Avery Brooks. Avery Brooks is the best.
Well, I think some of this, he might be bluffing somewhat here. I don't know about...
No, I think to some degree he is. I don't know if he would have gone... The thing is, if memory serves, because it's been a while since I've seen this, I think we just don't know how far he'd go. But I could be wrong about that.
He went this far because he knew that he could swap them or whatever without causing a huge conflict, but...
So we make fun of Avery Brooks and how out of his gourd he is in interviews and stuff all the time. I don't think you get this performance if he's not like that. So, like... Yeah. Thank God for Avery Brooks and his crazy townness, because...
Yeah.
Oh, see, he's going to give himself up.
Yeah. He wanted to be the martyr.
Now, what's weird is this is kind of a double beat from Defiant.
Yeah.
Because he's going to do exactly what Thomas Riker did. The difference is Thomas Riker didn't actually really have a dog in the Maquis fight. He just did it to feel important.
He just, feel important to distinguish himself from Will Riker. I always thought those gears were like gear doors were really neat looking.
But you see what I'm saying? I think they played that really ambiguously.
Yeah.
I don't think you can tell how much he was bluffing.
I know.
He got his man. He got his white whale.
Yes.
But Sim, the thing is, this tactic gets right to the heart of the Maquis issue. No one wanted to leave their planet, but now the Cardassians and humans of these planets have to switch.
Pretty much.
And I mean, he gave them time to evacuate. I don't think he killed anybody.
Yeah. Well, the Jem'Hadar also get right to the heart of the Maquis issue too.
Yeah. Yeah, and see that's the idea, is that like he casts himself as the villain on purpose.
Yeah.
I think that episode ends too fast. I think after Sisko does something that insane, we need to spend a little bit of time talking about the repercussions of it.
A little bit. Yeah. That was crazy.
Should they have an admiral out there to do some sort of
a follow-up? Yeah.
Or a JAG at the very least.
And it would have been fine if we'd done that like next episode, because this is a show where you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They never talk about that again that I remember.
That's a huge thing he just did.
That's pretty crazy. That was a Bab 5 move. Like, I don't know that DS9 ever feels more like Babylon 5 than it does in that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes pretty unhinged, Sisko does, near the end of the episode, but I don't know if I really buy him doing that.
I do, but I wish we talked about it.
Sure.
Busted Sim exactly right. He says, I think the main issue with this episode is that the action goes uncommented on by Starfleet. There are no consequences for this, which I think hurts it. Yeah, I agree too. All we needed was the next episode. I don't know if I would want a whole episode that was basically like court-martial for this, but there needs to be at least some discussion about it somewhere. Busted Sim, $2 super chat. We're just putting all the pilots on now. Encounter at Farpoint is now on the board. Thanks very much, Busted Sim.
That's because its very name commented.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so Encounter at Farpoint, and the cage. And so it's possible now
to be able to do that doesn't take up the whole night, because the other ones are all feature length.
No, but we could split them up into two.
Remember we talked about how we were going to do that.
That's right. I forgot about that. Except the movie, we weren't going to do that for Beyond.
It's just a little harder with those, Brandon, because Netflix doesn't split them up as separate episodes, so we would have to actually find that halfway point and stop there. Sure. So I don't know. We can decide if we wanted to respin the wheel if we landed on one, or go ahead and split it up. I'm fine with splitting it, to be honest with you, but...
Well, we talked about, like, if we got a two-parter... Well, didn't we ultimately land on if we got a two-parter in the second half, we just do it in the next episode?
Yeah, we did. But I'm saying that a pilot's a little different because I have to find the halfway point.
Oh, the pilot.
So what I'm saying is, if we land on a pilot, we can decide if we want to respin it or go ahead and try to find the halfway point.
The pilots, right.
Okay, let's go ahead and spin the wheel and find out what our second episode is, and then we'll take one more quick break. Here we go.
What's it going to be?
It is going to be Sub Rosa! Oh, no! Do not light the candle. Do not light the candle! So again, listening to 50-Year Mission today, it's weird how many people who worked on that show actually really liked that episode. It's almost like, well, because we gave Crusher anything to do, that's a good one. No, it's not.
But Crusher has good episodes. Besides that, she's...
I mean, she never got enough to do, and that actress was never happy with her role, of course, but... that's not good. That is some soap opera nonsense.
Are all ghost entities in Star Trek evil, or are there any good ones?
Any good, like, ghost type?
Ghost entities. I can't think of any.
He's not really a ghost. He's an alien that needs life force or something like that. But he takes on the appearance of a gothic horror
Yeah, that's the thing, Brandon. Is like there's not really like an actual afterlife, except for when we get really trippy. So when you have characters that are acting ghosty, just by definition, they're probably not going to be good, or it's going to be something of a misunderstanding because they're pretending to be a ghost.
I guess so. That's true.
Right. So it's usually a deception of some kind. So like you pitch me the story where that's like a good guy character, like you see what I'm saying?
I'm even talking about like what in the TNG episode where the girl has the imaginary friend and that
she was an alien.
turns out to be bad.
Yeah, it's usually a possessing alien.
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 14 of season 7 of TNG. Sub Rosa. Glad we're getting this out of the way. And we're going to take one more 4-minute break or so. So we will be right back, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in a bit. Okay, we are back, and it is nobody's
Rosa.
favorite episode, Sub Rosa. So make sure that you are on episode 14 of season 7 of TNG. Hopefully that gave you time to pull that up, get it to timestamp 0, and get ready to press play right now. Adam, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Adam, I remember Do Not Like the Candle, and I remember this being a really kind of generic, typical love story, and it's like what, like 18th, like 19th century, like Byronian or something. Like I remember it being kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't even know why the colony made themselves like this. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's all I remember, because I never go back to this. I don't know how well.
But it's weird because I feel like
the
this episode
generators.
showed. I don't watch it a lot, but I feel like I saw it a lot when I was a kid growing up in reruns. For some reason, it was one of these episodes that always wound up coming up on TV.
It
I don't
played
know why.
constantly, but after the first time I saw it, I turned it off every time. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? Everybody.
I didn't have no filter. I was just like, all right, I'm Star Trek. I guess I'll watch it.
That's why you remember things better than I do. That's why you're here, Adam, because you subject yourself to the pain.
The pain.
The pain.
Adam's got Star Trek scars.
I need my
Pain sticks.
pain.
Sticks.
TNG paint sticks. All right, here we go. Everybody, please press play right now. Let's have a funeral for somebody we've never met.
Yeah.
And that she never talked about. We have this a lot with Crusher. We're just like retroactive old people in her life that mattered, apparently.
Yeah.
There's that dress uniform.
And there's the Scottish people, which I don't understand why everybody lives like this on this colony. They say it, and I don't really understand it even after they say it.
Isn't that the worst when there's an explanation, but it's so unsatisfying? You're back to the same place you were before they explained it.
They're just like, we like Scotland, so that's why.
I'll get that comment sometimes where I'll be like, I don't understand this, and somebody will explain it to me. I'll go, okay, I get the explanation. I still don't understand this.
So is this a real place or the sound stage?
No, this is a sound stage, but it's supposed to be a real. They're not like on a holodeck or anything.
Wait, this is a sound stage? There's no way this is a sound stage.
Yeah, this is a sound
I
stage.
can't
I'm pretty
imagine
sure.
it's the sound stage.
No, this looks on location to me.
Maybe it is. It looks so fakey though. I don't know.
I don't agree. That looks like real grass.
Maybe
yeah,
you're
like
right.
a real
Maybe it is
church.
real.
There's no way that's a sound
It
stage.
But it looks very artificial for some reason. It doesn't look like a natural location that will exist in the world.
God, everything about this feels like a Smallville episode to me.
So that guy is like representative of like in the dramas and stuff when you see the person in the black standing way off to the side of the funeral holding the umbrella in the rain.
Yeah.
Just a mysterious person.
But Sim, this was season 7, Cap, where random family members got strange focuses. Geordi's
There's so
mom,
many
Worf's
family
other
episodes.
brother,
Oh my
Crusher's
gosh.
grandma. Don't forget the kid that claimed he was Picard's son and turned out not to be. No, we did a ton
Data's
of that.
Mom, not really his
Data's,
mom.
yeah, but that episode's good.
That episode's okay, yeah.
And then so you're gonna love this if you don't know about it. So another thing I learned today, listening to the 50-year mission, is that apparently there was an idea to, just because Geordi didn't have enough to do, to sort of do what we did with Bashir, where it's like, let's retroactively give him some kind of like background thing, mysterious background thing. He was supposed to be like half some random alien, and he didn't know he was an alien.
That's ridiculous. In
That's
season
really
7,
Yeah.
bring that
Because-
up. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I think in season 7 we were gonna find out toward the end. Oh, by the way, Geordi's an alien.
How could you be in Starfleet and not know your like pattern
Yeah,
buffers
you'd
would
be like,
pick this up? You would
examined a
know
lot.
what you are.
They would have to come up with the silliest like soap opera contrivance for why he wouldn't know about that. Yep.
The other
Yeah.
alien's genetic code's able to hide its identity from technology.
Cinematographic Second Chances, I think, is season 6. He mentioned Riker's
Yeah.
brother. If we're talking about Thomas Riker, that's 6. Though.
Yeah,
That's
that
not
was
7.
6.
But you're right, that falls in that category. But it was the season before that.
I don't know why they did so many family episodes this season. Worf
Busted
brother-
Sim, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is so complicated because, like, I want to impart some of this information to people that are never going to bother reading that book, but then he's like, oh, you're spoiling it for me? I wish I'd read it already. So, like, what do I do? Do I not mention it? Because, like...
Let's say McFly.
Yeah.
That's one of the... What are you talking about?
The headstone says McFly.
Oh, it does say
in the
McFly. That's
background.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
McFly!
This is even stupider now. They put
McFly!
McFly
So
on
the
a
guy,
headstone.
the guy that plays the ghost is
Wow.
also the guy that plays Shakar.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that's a memorable actor.
He was Zorro on the 90s Zorro.
He's not
that I
bad.
watched.
He's just not a memorable actor to me.
Yeah, he's not very good.
So yeah, this is the other Crusher-focused thing. We also do Attached, and it irritates because that's another thing in that list that we didn't put was like half-ass romances at the 11th hour. That's another one, and Voyager also is guilty of that.
Yeah.
But when I hear people bring up season 7, sometimes people talk about this episode really fondly, and I don't understand why. And Attached is that way too, where they'll be like, "Oh, finally we're dealing with that Picard Crusher stuff," and I'm like, "Are you guys just so happy that they're finally doing like Crusher stuff and romance material that you don't care what the quality of the romance is? Because they're not good at it."
So it looks like Frakes actually directed this episode. I was not aware of that.
Oh, weird. Well, the directing is not a thing I remember about this episode.
No.
I don't know what the first episode Frakes directed was, but I would assume he's already done a few by this point.
Yeah, he had.
Because remember, he went all the way and did like 3,000 hours of directing school or something crazy.
Right.
Or 300 hours or whatever it was. But yeah, he went to Star Trek directing school. But Frakes, I mean, I usually really like you as director, but I'm questioning some of your choices here. Like, I don't know why the handheld. I don't know why we started shooting them and we didn't know it was handheld until they started walking. And why it was like up underneath them for a second. Just everything about this is a little bit odd cinematography wise. Busted Sim, no, it's fine. It's a big book. I only bought it because you mentioned it before anyway. Yeah, and if you don't have time to sit down and read it, I mean, what I did initially when I got the books is I would go to sections that I cared most about, and because you can jump around in it, clearly, because it's, for people who don't know, that is an oral history of Star Trek, so it's a bunch of interviews.
So,
But it's also available on audiobook if you want to just listen to it. Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
I was going to say, so are these people like the Brinloidy? Do they just not like technology too? And they just happen to be Gaelic also? I don't know. Because they don't seem to have electricity or anything here.
What? Yeah, this is an interesting subject to bring up. So sometimes in TNG, we'll go to colonies on planets that human beings set up to be like old cultures, and somehow that sometimes feels more contrived and less likely to me than when we just happen upon an Earth-like planet where the aliens are like certain periods from Earth history. It seems more contrived to me.
Uh-oh.
So this is Beverly's grandma that passed away. That means that it would be Wesley's great grandmother. Why wouldn't Wesley be at the funeral?
Wesley doesn't care.
I guess not.
She never gave
Cinematographic,
you money at Christmas.
We see Riker's dad in season 2, and his first name is...
Platinum at Christmas time.
Do you remember, Adam?
Kyle Riker?
Kyle Riker, that's his name. Kyle Riker. Yep.
That guy, that's the Ambujitsu episode. That's a weird
Ambujitsu.
episode.
Yep.
We're about to get the
Which
guy
is not
right.
Parisi Squares for some reason.
Not Parisi Squares. Which I'm pretty sure existed at that point, because I'm pretty sure we see Worf and Tasha Yar talking about Parisi Squares in an episode. It might be Skin of Evil. I don't know, but
Okay,
yeah,
so see,
why.
this is clearly why Picard and Crusher should be a couple, because they just like sitting around with ancient
old
books.
things, old books.
Yeah,
Ah.
they're both thoughtful and boring. They should get together.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
look,
the spot
she
on
writes on
journal.
paper.
At least it's not a space journal.
Oh, she has the year on there. Did you
For a
see that?
pad.
2360 something.
She wants to cozy up with a good book, read her grandma's journal.
Yeah.
It's a little private.
You know, even Kirk's house and the fake house in Generations was kind of rustic.
Yeah, they really go for rustic.
And that was, yeah, rustic.
I understand it more with Picard because of his sensibilities. Like, he's
Right.
really old worldly. It's okay to have characters like that. It's not okay for all of your characters to
And
be
they go
like
way
that.
far here. This is way
you
like.
Yeah, it's really
Did
strange.
you say fake
What
house
the
in
hell are you
Generations?
Yeah, he's
Yes,
talking about
it's like
in the Nexus.
In the Nexus.
Oh, yes, with the Christmas tree.
No, he's
Yeah,
talking
this-
about Kirk's house.
No, Kirk's
That's
house
not
is
Kirk's real
mountain.
house.
Kirk's rustic house
No,
in the Nexus.
That's Shatner's real house in that movie.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's too rustic for Star Trek.
well,
Is
that's
the point he's
true.
making.
Yeah.
Who cares where the actual
But
house
it's not
is?
fake.
That
In
was
the
Shatner's real
context
house.
of the narrative, it's
Okay.
in the Nexus. It's fake.
Okay.
That's all he's saying.
Okay,
Are you caught up with us now?
I guess not.
Yeah, anything in the Nexus is not real. It's fake. That's all
Right.
he's saying.
No, that's true.
Good Lord, Brandon. JDF, $1.99 super chat. Oh, who more's for more? Yay, that's a great episode.
Yeah.
We're applauding for your selection. Oh my God, that voice is so
Don't be
silly.
irresponsible.
It's so silly.
She threw him out. That's a really green planet. That's really green. Wow.
Look at that green planet.
For some reason, I always thought the alien guy talked with a Scottish accent, and that like made no sense at all.
Dude, that's how I always used to remember it. I had to remind myself before we started watching this, which was which.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Just reset it every once in a while, and you'll be fine. Put the paper clip in it.
We should turn off the sound and just grunt over this episode. Is just the character grunting?
Caldos colony, as in Caledonian, as in Scotland. Get it?
It's kind of a weird planet where they never have rain in the summer.
Weirdos.
Okay.
The thermal regulator.
Don't worry, governor.
Basically, a temperature valve. Thermal regulator.
This was a thing we fell back on when we didn't have inspired ideas for alien faces, where we just give them extra nostrils.
I
That was a
know.
big TOS thing.
And a
extra
lot of facial
nostrils.
hair.
Yes. What's the sim? Hey, after
Ew,
World War
he's
III.
got exceptionally vigorous libidos.
That's
That's
hilarious.
gross.
What?
Ew.
He's talking about libidos to Crusher.
Ew.
He gets this big wide-eyed look on it's like exceptional libido. He's like, oh.
So the Ronin's supposed to be a year older than me. I don't buy that.
Also,
at all.
I don't either, and that name
Actor-
is so on the nose. Like, really?
Yeah.
He's going to be like this mysterious rogue character? His name is Ronin? No.
Yeah.
Hey, after... Like, I realize it's not spelled the same way, but no. Hey, after World War III, who knows how much culture changed to a love of rustic things? If you think about
they
it,
did,
during
like,
nuclear war, all digital pop culture would be destroyed. Yeah, but they talk about things as being ancient all the time, so you get the sense that a lot of people wouldn't even know what they were looking at with that
And a
stuff.
lot of random stuff did survive. So I don't know. I'm always like, what exactly got destroyed in World War III? Because whenever they show
one
San Francisco,
knows.
it looks fine to me. I don't know unless they rebuilt the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know.
Plus the sim, that's why no one plays 24 on the holodeck. Oh my god, I want that episode so bad. And I want Manny Koto to come back and make it. Because Manny Koto went to 24 right after he made the last season of Enterprise. That would be the best.
They got they're gonna watch Lost on the holodeck.
There are...
And Pressman's there.
So this is a
and,
weird thing we do with Crusher a lot. Just like Crusher, like in her quarters, either right before bed or during sleeping. Okay, just
episode's
remember,
so
there are
ridiculous,
people who liked this episode.
I don't like it, but it doesn't bother me as much as some other episodes do because it's so stupid. It's kind of entertaining for some reason to
Yeah,
me.
but
I
I'm
don't
saying
know
people
why.
take it seriously as like a really good romantic drama. I don't get
It's really
that.
cheesy.
It's really
It's
cheesy.
like dark-
And
it's like
she's
Dark
already
Shadow.
had some line readings that are like so
Yeah.
cheesy. Crusher's best episode. I mean, I love Remember Me, but as far as a more like actually dramatic, like less silly, crazy Braga episode, I think her best episode is probably the one where she has to play detective with that Ferengi scientist.
Yes,
I think that's probably her
yeah,
best episode.
That's the best one.
The way Crusher is sitting here is so weird. She had one leg up and she's holding it.
Mr. Roboto, $2 super chat. Cap, the Nexus is not fake; it's unreal. I'm just saying, I knew what Adam meant when he was talking about that. Like, yeah, we can split hairs about what the Nexus is actually doing. He's just saying it's his house in the holiday or in the Nexus. That was the only place.
It's almost like chocolate, Deanna.
Deanna Troy is so weirdly sexual
got a
when she's
stylist.
having chocolate that
Yeah.
I assume that she just doesn't even like sex. That she's just like whoever she's dating, she's just like, no, let's just eat chocolate. Like that's what I like to do.
That's what she did with that Devanani Rao. Devanani.
She just ate chocolate. That's so good. We had such a wonderful sensual evening. We just sat in bed and ate chocolate together. Sorry,
That's
what?
what they were doing.
Did you see she had a full-blown pencil for that pad, like a full-blown stylus?
Yeah,
that was
a
old
pad stylus?
pencil.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the only time I've ever seen
I
that.
did not see that.
It looked like a Ticonderoga. The Dixon Ticonderoga with the yellow.
Okay, now I'm second guessing myself about whether or not this is a soundstage.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks very unreal if it's real.
Because now the lighting is not looking especially natural to me. I mean, I get that it's like darker.
Right.
Okay, I just don't know.
So this guy is Scottish stereotype. Because we had the Irish stereotype in season 2, so you got to get that in.
Matthew Base, this is already cringeworthy, right?
No, not come in, dude.
And no disrespect to anybody who actually takes this seriously. I just need an explanation because I think it's like so melodramatic and didn't light the candle. And it's also hard to take seriously because this guy sounds like a cartoon character. He sounds like he should be a 90s X-Men.
90s X. Ned.
His Scottish accent is sillier than Scotty's.
You think it's worse than the Vernoidy in Up the Long Ladder?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna go that far. Yes, I do. And that gets away with it because it's sort of a comedy episode.
Do not light that candle.
That bothers some people, that episode. I don't know why. They're like, it's racist against Irish. Maybe it is.
I would say stereotypical before racist.
Yeah.
We always got to have green lightning on a plane.
I know, creepy green light. Ooh.
You know what? I think I might be changing my mind on this. I think maybe I can't tell, but I don't think you could light it like that if it was actually outside.
I don't think so. I think they must have brought sod in.
That's a good point.
Dude, I think he's right, Brandon. I think we're stupid. I think this is a soundstage. And the reason I'm thinking that is because if it wasn't, why do you keep only showing that little courtyard area and from one angle?
Right.
Well, we saw it from 2, but we saw the front side of the church. But
That's a little much. Look at that.
Yeah, I know, but we just keep going back to that one angle quite a bit, though. And I don't know. Stephen Murphy, as an Irish person, it is, and I'm clearly an offended person. Ooh, I kind of like this. I kind of like shooting behind that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, Frakes just redeemed himself for that horrible oneer he had earlier.
I know. They didn't. Yeah.
Oh, I know Stephen Murphy. Thanks for having a sense of humor.
Ooh.
Flowers. This is a sting we use a lot for the sake of suspense, right? The strings like
Yeah. Yes, I always do that. Whenever I watch Star Trek, I always go at the commercial break. But they do it all the time. Stephanie doesn't like it.
She doesn't like when you do that.
When I go,
Well, that's fair. It's irritating, but worth it.
It's worth it.
Stephen Murphy, someday we'll get to Fairhaven. Yeah, that's more Irish stereotypes. That's true.
Fairhaven. Oh my god. Also with a very horny lady in that episode.
That's true.
Whoa.
Yeah, is like sexy Irish lady legs like a stereotype? Because we do that. Both of those things too, don't we?
I think so.
She might as well be like, look at my legs, Captain. Buster Sim, seriously, Dr. Crusher has hardly any episodes about her being an actual doctor. And her best doctor stuff is always as a supporting character.
Yeah.
And the sad thing for Gates McFadden is that she considered herself more of a comedic actress. And part of the reason she tried out for the show was because she thought that her role was supposed to be a comedic one. Because the lines she came in to read with, this is true, were for Naked Now.
Whoa.
And so she thought it was just a comedy character. So she was.
I remember saying that, yeah.
Yeah. Or at least that's what she says, yeah.
I think maybe I need to get a copy of that 50-year mission. It's 2 volumes, right?
Yep.
Okay.
You can borrow mine.
Who are you? What do you want? Who are you? Nobody got my B5 joke there.
Oh yeah, now she's just repeating Deanna Troi from Night Terrors. Who are you? Or where are you? Busted Sim, $2 super chat emissary, but not the emissary. Alas, poor Kalar.
Kalar.
We're just putting all the pilots on the board.
Thanks, man. Do not forget this moment. Worf is a terrible father.
Oh God, there's no worse. There's no worse father.
There's no worse than Worf.
It's just true.
Oh, she's got some crazy stuff going on here. Oh my God.
Adam, this is one of my favorite club meetings because for various reasons, these are 2 episodes I have always wanted to sit through with you. Could we get a different line reading from you there, Gates McFadden? You seem to forget the name of the planet for a minute. Did you notice that?
Or as Patrick Stewart says, yeah.
She goes,
Patrick Stewart
she goes, here on Caldos.
Yeah. Yes, because Picard says Caldos earlier. He said it like that.
Sell it?
Caldos. Yeah, he said it like that. Say lot.
Instead of sell it?
So apparently, there's another tombstone in the cemetery that reads Vader.
Are they phasering that?
It did look like they were phasering it.
She looks like she's going to worse.
I hate the Makbara sequences, by the way. I hate them.
You hate them?
Yeah, because it's like it's like a like less overt version of the detox scenes from Enterprise.
The detox scenes. Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's like, look how sexy the ladies are on the show. It's like it's always it's so blatant and ridiculous. Like, nothing is worse than the detox scenes. Nothing. Well, that's not true. There's a couple other things in Enterprise that take that whole thing even farther. Because there is one thing in Enterprise that's worse than detox, and that is the physical therapy thing we do in season 3. That's so much worse.
Oh, with Tucker
and Troy and T'Pol, yeah.
Troy and T'Pol.
Tucker and T'Pol, yeah. Oh God, it's
yeah,
bad.
That's bad. I don't understand
Yes,
why there
it
aren't any
does.
alarm bells going off in your mind here. You honestly think that your 80-year-old grandma would land this guy? You honestly think this? That something's not right.
No, and I can't remember. Is she under any kind of an influence, or is she
Yeah,
just
I
really
think she's
buying
kind
this?
of under the influence.
See,
I
it's
think
a
she already
Smallville
is,
episode. It's like she has to be out of character so that this could be all weird and strange, and then
But why
it's
isn't
going to be just a
everybody
big
else
waste of
saying
time.
you're crazy? You are a crazy person. I'm leaving Starfleet. Is this when she says I'm leaving Starfleet in this episode? From this?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Are those onions behind her? What are those?
It's a hybrid of an onion and an apple.
An apple.
That's what it is.
An onion.
Well,
Okay,
now
this
this
is
looks
absurd.
like it's just
This is-
right out of Masks.
Oh my god. We need to watch Masks. Somebody put Masks on the board, on the wheel. I want to say Misaka is waking.
Hey,
Fog rolled in on the
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
we got Fog here. Are you gonna say it or shall I? Are you ready?
You say it.
He's being Fog.
This is one of five TNG episodes that doesn't have a star date.
No.
Cool.
Okay.
Sorry, I just thought that was interesting.
Uh-huh. Sure.
God, this is so ridiculous. When you've got a bunch of dry ice on the bridge, you know you're out of ideas and it's time to cancel the show. I mean, seriously. Oh, I've been trying to think of this the whole time. It's neuropressure. It's Vulcan neuropressure.
Oh, here's this crazy guy.
He's gonna bump his head, right? Is he gonna bump his head?
Whoa!
Okay, he almost bumped his head. Get away from me!
I like that they made it look. Okuda made it look like it was like the movie era, so it's supposed to kind of look old technology a little bit there.
That's cool.
With
Thanks
the
for
blue and the
elevating this
green.
craptastic material there.
Yeah.
Matthew Bass, that's a lot of dry ice. It's a lot of dry
I
ice.
don't feel like they had to kill that guy.
Busta Sim. Oh, you remembered it too. At least that Vulcan neuropressure junk serves a purpose somewhat, advancing that relationship over time. Yeah, it's a weird thing to build an entire arc over, though. Felt like a one-off episode idea that they stretched to a whole season, which makes a lot of sense because they're not used to doing serialized.
That looks great.
Busta Sim, did he just say he had to go get his jacket as he was
Yeah, he did.
wearing his jacket?
Yes, because he's chilly from the fog.
No, oh, get away from me! Was it that horrible fake accent? Is that what killed him?
Yeah, that's what
Did
killed
he have
him.
an accent accident? Crusher, what's wrong with your hair?
It's been like this the whole episode.
Look at her hair. It's
Yeah,
weird.
look at she's got all these streaks
It's
in it.
all-
I don't know what's
it's all
going on.
teased
Deanna's
in
that
the
way
very
too
beginning.
now. I don't know what's going on. I feel like it didn't show up this bad before the remaster.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't think a remaster would do anything with strands of hair.
It might make your highlights show up
Anaphasic.
more.
What does
Yeah, but it's not just the
anaphasic
coloring.
mean?
It's where it's placed. It's
Oh,
weird.
yeah, it's a weird outfit. Yeah, you're right. It is a weird, messy bun, I guess. is
It's a
what you
messy
call it.
bun.
Yeah. Or whatever.
Is that what you had for breakfast? A messy,
Messy bun. Loose. Now it's like a ponytail. I don't know. Where are you?
This is like the most 80s episode of TV in 1994,
Yeah.
right? 93, 94.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like, and I'm sure the show is better than this, I never watched it, but like, it looks like an episode of Beauty and the Beast or something.
Oh, that. I've never seen that show.
I haven't either.
So they used a term that's not actually anaphasic energy. That doesn't mean anything.
That's not a thing.
Nope.
There's your 34-year-old. I don't know. He could be, maybe.
What's that?
I mean, if he's not 34, he's like 40. I mean, like he's not like
40s.
He's not like really old, but
yeah.
That actor's in his 40s, yeah.
No, you're supposed to do not light the candle.
Do not light the candle.
No, don't light the candle. And now it feels like a Power Rangers plot.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
This is so cheeseball.
Does the candle never burn down?
Now it's like, well, it's a space candle.
Magic.
And now it's like, you know what, guys? Never mind. Let's not find out any more about these characters' families. I think it's fine. I think it's fine now. I think we've overdone this. And... No, I hate this. He just hates this.
According to IMDb, at the 50th
Why are you shooting so close?
Back up.
At the 50th anniversry, this was voted the sixth worst Star Trek episode.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Period.
But like I said, I hear people all the time. Talk about how great this episode is. I don't get it.
Noted when reviews came in after this episode first aired, women loved it, men hated it.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a sad state of affairs. Because that just means that there's not any good romance on TV at that point,
well, it's
right?
like the dollar romance books, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
they didn't do enough with the women on this show that they were,
they're grasping for anything. So the standards get really low. Yeah.
Look at that. That's a cool lighter. I want that lighter.
It's a space lighter.
She lit that candle as if it was like a drug, like she's having withdrawal symptoms.
Mr. Roboto, that's interesting. Did Star Trek do Space Kansas? I don't think we ever go to a place that just looks straight up like the Midwest. Like, there's a couple of examples where it's sort of close. But interestingly, Kansas, where?
In that episode where the tornado killed their...
I was about to mention that. We didn't go to Kansas. It's just mentioned. That's what I was about to say. We never go to Kansas, but we have a mention of a tornado killing a female Q's parents because they turned off... The Q turned off the weather system.
Yes.
It's pretty silly. Why are we watching this? It doesn't feel like a Star Trek episode. Like,
it's very weird. Oh.
And like the writing is so cheap and it feels like a superficial romance anyway, but it's even worse because, again, she's just under an alien influence, so it's like...
It's not real.
It's not interesting because it's not actually, her making any choices. She's not legitimately seduced or anything.
True. And
I think what's worst about this is that it watches like a Troy episode that we just put Crusher in instead of Troy. Because Troy has a few of these.
Beverly, are you taking crazy pills?
Put down the crazy pills.
But not Caldos.
I've decided to resign my resignation, or resign from Starfleet and stop being a doctor so that I can become a healer.
Healer, yeah, exactly.
Matthew Bass, God, this episode is stupid. Mr. Roboto, get the champagne. Get the champagne. Put down the crazy pills and get the champagne.
I like how she put her stuff on the cargo part of the transporter. I mean, that makes sense, but like you hardly ever see that used.
Is that the cargo part? I never understood
that
what the
center part. Yeah, no, we use that sometimes when we bring in
canisters
like space garbage and
like there's a cargo transporter in the cargo bays as well, but that's just like a small one. Geordi transports those metal containers that time that they ended up leaking.
Yeah.
But she only believes that because she's under influence.
Ill-considered.
Yeah, drinking this much isn't like Beverly at all. That's sure what it seems like is happening.
We need to have an intervention.
Wait, did you just say we could fix this whole thing by sending Crush to a Star Trek convention?
No, I said we need to have an intervention.
Oh, an intervention. I'm kidding.
Beverly.
Stephen Murphy, and they... Oh, you were referring to something else. I gotta go back and look. Never mind. Thomas Lowe likes your shirt, Brandon.
Oh, thank you.
Cinematographic. Wesley, did you spike Dr. Crush's ginger ale again? Well, if so, it's ginger ale that he put in there like a couple of years ago because he doesn't live on the ship anymore.
So it's fermented.
I don't know if this is before or after that equally horrible episode with the Native American planet where he goes off to permanently go with the Traveler, except for the 4.5 seconds he's in Nemesis. But
yeah.
I wish that Data didn't have to use a tricorder, that he just kind of had built-in sensors.
No kidding. And oh, you know what, though? Geordi, too. Neither of these characters should be holding tricorders right now.
Anymore. Especially because Geordi should be able to read the energy signatures with his visor.
His visor does everything a tricorder does.
It's a known thing that his visor picks up energy signatures.
I never thought of it, though. Why does he ever hold that? Just so he's got props?
Oh, my God.
Just so he's got props. Somebody stabbed me, so I don't have to watch this anymore.
I mean, Data should be able to honestly connect to the computer and run ops, or run the con through his uplink.
Oh my God! Oh my God! What? Oh, it's that sex scene in Ghostbusters.
Well, I was gonna say, we have
there is no
Dana,
Dana, only
like
Zool.
It never comes off. It always comes off hokey. It never comes off good.
Yeah, and it always feels wrong. It's like it's worse than if we just allowed a show like this to, like, obviously you wouldn't show too much, but just
like
let a couple of characters have sex, right? Like it would feel less weird and gross if you just let the characters have sex, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
We had that stuff going on with Crusher in front of Wesley the other day.
Oh, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, why do we have to watch this in the game almost in a row?
Yeah.
That is more overtly sexual. But here's the thing.
Everybody just walks into
that
this
has
house.
all this blatant innuendo. This isn't even innuendo. You know what this is like? This is like if you're trying to do a political allegory episode with romance, where it's like your allegorical romance is too on the nose because it's just a romance. Like that's what it feels like. If that makes any sense at all. Busted Sim, Frakes directing his friend. All right, Gates.
Change the color of your eyes.
Could you just writhe a bit more next time? Sorry, what?
Wait, people can change their eye color in the future, supposedly. He just said, "Can you change did you change the color of your eyes?"
This dialogue is the worst. You're right. It's Harlequin romance novel.
Yeah.
I liked you better the way you were, Beverly.
Trust me, I've seen thousands of those Harlequin romances when I worked for the thrift store.
Yeah, we all know what they look like. Oh, so you're an expert because you saw the covers.
No,
of
I
them.
used to read them in my free time at work.
Okay. No, the game is The Godfather compared to this. It's certainly more entertaining to watch. It's certainly paced better than this. Good God.
So the other character that we see,
and the romance is better.
That's dressed like
somehow.
This is like a low budget Moriarty, to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shakar. Why do I talk like this all the time?
He really looks like he's at some point he's going to turn into the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, like. You know, or he also could have played like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Could have done that, or he could have been in an adaptation of The Invisible Man. Really, just pick anything genre from the 19th century.
Yeah.
I always thought exhume was an amusing word.
Yes, exhume.
Apparently, the guy who played Mucharan played another couple of characters in Star Trek 2.
We know. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, I was paying attention to the episode.
Like, we talked about that at the very beginning, also.
Oh, yeah.
And then we just now brought it up again. Yep.
Oh.
Whoa!
No base,
Picard
Admiral! No
Nope.
base!
Up on
Picard
a
yells
three,
at an
Admiral.
entity and it disappears. Like, this happens frequently, I
At
feel
your
like.
earliest convenience, Beverly.
Oh, she's gonna be a healer.
She's like,
No cinematographic. I was thinking Ron Perlman. Yeah.
Him and his fake heart.
There's a real crazy part that's about to come up here.
But him just put caretaker on the board
Why?
because he wants all the pilots. Well, we also got Humors for Morn today, so that's good.
Yeah.
We are probably going to get a pilot next episode. Like, statistically, the odds are really good right now.
Yeah.
6 of these are pilots now, I believe.
Yeah.
Or 5.
He looks like he's just asleep.
Yeah.
Well, I said 6 because I forgot that we didn't put 2 TOSs on here.
You're not my grandma. Isn't that coming up?
Oh god, this is the part.
You're
Yeah.
not my
this is crazy.
mom. I'm so done watching this.
They just exhumed a coffin by beaming it.
They beamed it
from
out
under
of the. Why did they
ground?
beam it in the
Yeah,
underground?
but that's a good way to do that. That makes sense.
I guess, but I never considered that.
But shouldn't all the dirt just go collapse underneath
That's
there?
the other thing I was gonna say. Yeah, unless
There's
there's
a
like
big
box
hole
in there.
left where the coffin was.
This episode's so lazy as it is. Like, of course, like it's already a cartoon. Of course, we're not doing
And
that.
also, like, the coffin is an old-fashioned style.
I know, it's
coffin.
the old fashioned with like the like that.
With the lid and the nails.
Ah!
in the
Oh
lid.
god! Oh god!
Yeah.
Oh, she's so creepy.
Whoa.
Oh, I forgot we got right up on her
See,
face like
this was
that.
the other thing I was going to mention earlier, is you don't send an android to check out an unknown energy
That's
source,
what-
right?
It's
a good point.
alright. It's E.
Busted Sim, no, I wouldn't count Way of the Warrior as a pilot, but it's a
You're
great
not
episode.
named
I'd love to have it on the
named
board.
is dead. That's
Leave
right.
her alone.
Whoa, man. I feel bad for that actress.
She just
Leave her
tripped down
alone.
the stairs.
I hope that's not the last thing that woman got to do on camera.
It was her last scene.
That'd be really sad. She died 2 weeks after this, and we should be mourning the fact that this is the last thing she did.
Oh god.
I'm just kidding, I don't
Her
know.
whole career summed up with that one scene.
She gets typecast as ladies that get electrocuted?
Yeah.
Why is it every time I'm a day player that just goes like this?
She never worked in this town again. This was her only way of supplementing her social security income.
Butts and Sim, but why did the
You
ground
took that away
collapse?
from her, Jerry Taylor.
Do not scan the candle.
It's a plasma candle. Holy cow.
Oh god, this is so over the top, Gates McFadden.
Her century. And then,
Oh lord, that's the worst, man. She's channeling Troy from The Lost right now. It's the worst.
I am disabled, Captain.
That was the best line reading you've ever given. I am disabled, Captain.
Evil life form.
Yeah, Buzz and Sim, I've not been putting TAS on the board only because it's harder for people to get a hold of right now. Because you'd have to have the discs or you'd have to have CBS All Access.
This is funny. I have laughed.
So we may start adding that eventually, but I think fewer people will be able to watch it with us. I wish it was still on Netflix, and then we'd totally do it.
Uh-oh.
It was a
He can
Horcrux.
go to hell!
It was a Horcrux.
Oh, don't hug her.
Had
Just don't
enough
hug her.
of you.
You know, I said this was like a Smallville episode. That's not fair to most of Smallville, actually. As bad as that show gets. There is very little, like this is like an early. I'm thinking of that episode with that Byron character in the second season. That's still better than this.
Which character?
I don't know how much Smallville you've seen,
Oh, I thought you were talking about the second season of this.
No. I'm talking. Yes, Mr. Roboto, Giant Spock. Yeah. Giant Spock and Inflatable Enterprise. We run the gamut of size in that show. There's an episode where there's Giant Spock, and there's an episode where all the characters get tiny and run around in a fish tank. Or something.
And then you get that music stuck in your head if you let it go up on the wheel, you know.
You know how much I hate that, man. Like, if only we could change out some of the music on that show. It's not bad music, it just is on a loop.
They just didn't have any money. So they used to do the same thing over, but what do kids know?
Yeah, but it's weird because they were intentionally trying to make that like not just a kid show. At least in the writing, I don't know.
Funny.
Matthew Bass, why just why? Well, that's the question. Oh, this is definitely one of the worst episodes of.
He made her very happy.
He made her very happy.
God.
You know how he could have made her happier though? He could have brought her the game.
It's only a game.
I'm applauding because it's over.
So we also
oh God.
There's no consequence for the fact that she just killed a sentient life form.
Oh, are you gonna compare this to Cisco, where it's like there's no consequences for either of these things?
Consequences.
Right? Oh no.
Did. Well, she kills a sentient life form, and I mean, obviously, you know, it attacked her in a way, and it took advantage of her, and it, you know, and it assaulted her in various ways. But like, she had some fun, and then she killed it.
Thomas Slow, what is worse, Smallville or this? Well, I mean, again, it depends on the episode. There's definitely Smallville episodes that are that bad, but I was thinking like season 1 and 2. I don't think there's anything in season 1 or 2 that I would watch. Like, I would definitely watch anything in that over this. Definitely. Okay, so God, I'm glad that's done. I'm so glad that's done. It is worse than I remembered it. It really is. That's rough. People always go to Mass as the worst episode of that season. Not true. That is definitely worse than Mass.
Was it worse? No, yeah, I like Mass. Is really weird. I don't know why.
Well, do you know that it's got that reputation though? Mass has that reputation as being like the worst episode of the series, and it's just not. It's just not.
Do you think this was worse than the episode you watched the other day? The one I can't remember the name of, where Picard's crashed on the planet with those aliens are acting like jerks for no reason.
I think it's so damn unmemorable. That's part of yeah. It's worse than that, but not by much. That one's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the one where it's like 3 aliens of the same species doing experiments on them in different ways, and the guy like pretends to be a girl stranded on a planet, and then
the guy annoys Worf for no reason,
and then the guy with Troy just eats a bunch of sweets. Yeah, it's terrible.
That guy.
But this is worse than that. This is even worse than that episode with that kid that won't stop making that stupid noise. That like, you remember he comes from that. From that planet, it's like, what is it, like 3rd season? Maybe it's later, and he's who's he played by? I can't remember. Anyway, and he goes to Picard's quarters and he's being all defiant. And he just keeps doing like this stupid scream. He's like, woo! Remember that guy? Yeah. No. Oh, that's the worst.
Jonah. They call it
Jonah. Yeah, somebody Jono. Somebody Mojo Jono. Somebody put that terrible episode on the wheel. We'll watch that piece of crap.
No.
All right, let's go ahead and rate everybody. We rate here on a scale of 0 to 4. 0 is and 4 is yeah. So we're gonna let Brandon rate first.
Okay.
You can rate, of course, with any decimal points in between the 0 to 4 that you want to. And you guys watching right now, if you want to put in your ratings, I will read them for everybody on air. Go ahead, Brandon. How do you rate today's episodes?
So I have a rating for each episode, and one of the ratings is 3.5, and one of the ratings is a 1.5. You can guess which is which. Sub Rosa is the 1.5
Thank you.
For anyone who didn't get what I just said. But no, that was a great episode of DS9, and I really appreciated Cisco's energy level in that, and I did not appreciate the energy level in Sub Rosa.
Especially the green energy at the end.
Yeah. Every time you're on a planet and they want lightning, it's like got to be green, right? I feel like green lightning is alien lightning for some reason.
No, Otis wrote, "She betrayed her uniform."
Yeah.
Adam, what's your rating?
I give for the uniform 3.5, like Brandon, and I give Sub Rosa a 0.5.
Oh.
Almost 0, but not
I think it's
I
that bad.
gave it a 1.
I'm gonna go for a 0.5 as well.
Yeah.
With Sub Rosa, I think it's that bad. For the uniform, I can't go quite to a 3.5. I'm gonna have to go to a 3. I think.
Yeah.
The ending is too abrupt, and I kind of like the ambiguity of it, but that is a serialized show. That is a standalone episode. Is fine, but it is a problem that in the grand scheme we're missing the discussion about it. I cannot go to a 3.5 over that. Again, if I did the lesser decimal points in between, I might go to like a 3.2 or a 3.3, but I cannot go all the way to a 3.5 on that.
Right.
Jason gives for the uniform a 2.5. And
you probably like that.
And Sub Rosa a 1.5.
Oh, he did.
And for some reason he called Sub Rosa Subway sandwiches.
Well, that's keeping in line with how Jason says things.
Stephen Murphy gave for the uniform a 3 and Sub Rosa a 1. Cinematographic is not going with our rating scale, so I'm not gonna read them because he's cheating. No, I'm kidding. 5.72 out of 10 and 0 out of 10.
2.
But yeah, you got 2 out of 4. That's how we work here. Noah for the uniform is a 2 out of 4. Sub Rosa is a 0 out of 4.
Oh,
wow. Mr.
Shots
Roboto,
fired.
what is -4? JDF for the uniform 3.5. Sub Rosa 0. A lot of zeros today. Busta Sim 3.2 for the same reason that I couldn't go to 3.5, and Cinematographic, if you adjust for deflation, 2 out of 4 and 0 out of 4. That's pretty good. I like that.
so question
Deflate.
for you:
Yeah, what's up?
if you had to either watch this episode Sub Rosa again immediately, or watch These Are
Mulan.
the Voyages.
See, people keep doing this to me where it's just like, anything I don't like, it's that or These Are the Voyages, deal with it. I don't know, that's impossible. I hate These Are the Voyages so much.
I know.
I don't know.
Watch Sub Rosa a second time.
No, not in a row. Not in a row. I think I would go for These Are the Voyages if it's a matter of right away. If it's a matter of tomorrow, I don't know.
Right.
Well, everybody, thanks a bunch for hanging out with us on Star Trek Club. Hope you had a good time. We'll try to pop back in for you again on Monday. Pretty sure we'll be able to do it next week. And it'll be the same thing. Same Trek time, same Trek channel. We're going to watch 2 episodes, do a little trivia. I might write something for you next time. So tune in, won't you? Thanks a bunch to everybody that put stuff on the wheel tonight. We got 5 pilots on the wheel now, so we'll see if next time we end up watching one of the pilots. That'll be fun. Even the bad ones, like regardless of what it is, it'll be fun talking about the beginning of the shows. And in the meantime, I was Captain Logan. That's Brandon Grimm.
Nice to see you, everybody.
And Adam Meredith. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye, everybody.